just wanna change the world. I just want the perfect girl. I don't wanna hang around, I'd rather be found. It gets better, I wonder, my pleasure together. Everyone's waiting, anticipating. Change the world, but I'm not gonna wait my turn. I don't ever want to come down, I'd rather be found. It gets better, I wonder, my pleasure together. Everyone's waiting, anticipating. I wanna come again, I wanna be so high in your eyes. I wanna disappear inside you and be alright tonight. You say your medicine is all that I require, and that I'm blinded by the stars in my eyes. it's over. Do you need anything like I need you? I've got no place to be alone, my friend. He cut his wrist instead. There's your answer. You better save yourself, or else nothing like success. I would rather be in hell than regret. Do you need anything like I need you? It's over. Oh, do you need anything like I need you? No, I do. But denial, these are not my words. Tell me where are mine? Most of the time, wet my face with reality and permit me to breathe before I do it again. Do you need anything like I need you? It's over. Do you need anything like I need you? Do you need anything like I need you? It's over. Do you need anything like I need you?
Yo! How we doing, people? Ba-na-na-na-na. Yo! You ready? Do you need anything like I need you? It's over. Oh, do you need anything like I need you? Do you need anything like I need you? It's over. Oh, do you need anything like I need you? Oh, do you need? Let's go! Somebody's viewing a property? All right, let's go. Dude, I want to view the property. Yeah, it is a good tune, isn't it? I agree. Oh, 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 ha, 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 let's go! All right. Dude, Dude, we're fucking breaking it up. Cheerio. I'm gonna have a rock star. Dude, I'm gonna be switching to sugar-free shit soon, guys. Brutal. All right. So we got some craziness today, right? Harping tonight. Is there some good harp information? I am blissfully unaware. Was there more about Natalie Harp that came out today? I have not seen more about Natalie. I know we looked at her last night. I will say this. What is crazy about Natalie Harp is the MAGA reaction. Oh my God. The MAGA reaction, guys. All Jon Ossoff said was travel with Natalie. Right? And the fucking MAGA people have been shitting themselves for like a day and a half. Travel with Natalie. That's it. That's all. That is all Jon Ossoff said. 3 words. Travel with Natalie. And MAGA have been melting the fuck down. Now, I think the fact that MAGA have been melting the fuck down over Natalie Harp is an obvious sign that something's going on, right? There is something about this that is very bizarre because Ossoff didn't make a sexual reference. He didn't even imply it. I mean, he literally just said in passing, he doesn't even want to do his job. He'd rather travel with Natalie on the apparently defenseless plane. But like, think about that. Think about the reaction. Everybody up in arms. And now, can I show you something? Because Scott Jennings was on this shit, guys. Let me just show you here, okay? Where Scott Jennings made this fucking comment like this shit right here. Look at this. Look at this.
I did some research this morning on just how many women have worked for Jon Ossoff since he came to the Senate in 2021. Turns out he's had dozens of female staff members ranging from interns all the way to senior level staff positions.
Okay.
Now, I could read you their first names. It's public record. I could give you their titles and salaries. And I could just ask one by one why Ossoff felt the need to be staffed by this particular woman or that.
Dude, look at this. I know Scott Jennings is the ultimate like Trump D-sucker boss. He is. But look at him. He felt the need to go and like look up all the staffers, all the female staffers that had worked for Jon Ossoff, and oh, I could dox them. I could give you all their names, all because Ossoff said travel with Natalie. Like, what the fuck, bro? Why are they so bent out of shape? I mean, guys, she was on the cart. Come on, man. Donald Trump gets on a plane. He leaves everyone on that plane as a decoy, and he gets into the catering cart to go to a new plane. He fucking took Natalie Harp with him. Bro, so, like, okay, that's crazy. He didn't take any of his staffers, nobody on that plane. He left them all to die except for Natalie Harp. So, I think something weird about that. Your personal assistant, whatever, your person who carries around a printer, bro, come on. On the cart, dude, yeah, Trump is her god. She's like, yo, Natalie Harp. It's political punk here. All right. So I got a couple questions for you. Number one, how much does he pay you to scoop all the shit out of that diaper? Right? Are you getting like $400K, $300K? I mean, I hope it's worth it. All right. Number 2. What the fuck is wrong with you, girl? What are you doing? I mean, you know, it kind of seems like your whole like cancer shit, all that shit was even made up. You didn't even get a crazy treatment provided by Trump. You're like deifying him. Are you like super evangelical? They dig you out of a bunker somewhere? Is that what happened? You came out of a bunker and you were like, oh my God, that huge Frankenstein looking guy with all the shit in his diaper. I want to worship him. Dude, what's wrong with you, girl? Come on. All right. Now, the third thing is does it bother you at all that you look just like Ivanka and Trump was talking about, you know, banging his daughter and shit? And then so he has this assistant that looks just like his daughter. Does that bother you at all? Does that affect you in any way? No, I will not praise Jesus. All right? Fuck Jesus. Yeah. No, you're weird. You're fucking weird. All right, fuck you. Bye-bye. Dude, he calls her baby wipe. Oh, dude. But look at this. Dude, Jennings. So anyway, just to get to the gist of this, look at what he says. He says Donald Trump has done more to elevate women in politics than any other president. Donald J. Trump has. And I'm like, yo, Scotty, grab him by the pussy, Scotty. They let you do it. Dude, how are these guys flipping out about Jon Ossoff mentioning Natalie Harp's name, travel with Natalie, when they are literally the party of grab him by the pussy? They let you do it. Scott Jennings, grab them by the pussy. That's your president. They let you do it, Scotty. Grab them. Grab the pussy. They let you do it. Honestly, dude, give me a fucking break. And they are on this high horse here. Now, what I want to know, guys, here's what I want to know. What I want to know is what's really going on with Natalie Harp that is causing such an insane reaction. Okay? We're talking insane reaction. Now, check this out. Somebody replied to me because I did comment about this, guys. Where was it? I commented here about, right? All Ossoff said was travel with Natalie. That's it. The only mention in MAGA has been freaking out. Okay? The unraveling. But look at this, guys. Look at this graphic. You got Megyn Kelly, Jack Posobiec, Mercedes Schlapp, Robbie Starbuck, Scott Jennings, Julie Kelly, Greg Price, Mark Thiessen, right? Davis Inglo. Who is that? Davis? I don't even know who that is. Dude, Michael Knowles, Newt Gingrich, Gunther Eagleman, Stephen Chung, Tim Martog, Kristen Davison, Anna Paulina Luna, Liz Harrington. Excuse the last name. I'm sorry I share a last name with Liz Harrington. But like all of them are on it, right? All of them are on it. Oh yeah, thank you. Right? Look at them, dude. Oh, it is. Oh, Davis Ingle. Yeah, I still don't know who Davis Ingle is. But look at this shit. Okay? All of these guys are all of these. They're calling Ossoff a sick freak. They're called sexist, arrogant jerk, innuendos, right? Dude, shame on him. What a vile thing to suggest that Trump likes to travel with Natalie. Now, it's hilarious that Newt Gingrich in here, because look at this. Jon Ossoff owes Natalie Harp a personal apology for having smeared her. He didn't smear her. He said, travel with Natalie. That's all he said. 3 fucking words. Travel with Natalie. By the way, Newt Gingrich was cheating on his cancer-ridden wife, banging one of his aides. Isn't this wild? Travel with Natalie. Where's the where's the sexism? Like, what the fuck? If I travel with somebody named Natalie, am I being a sexist? Am I being an arrogant jerk if I travel with Jenny? Right? Isn't that wild? Dude, God bless Natalie Harp. Oh my God. Ossoff was clearly implying Trump is having an affair. Dude, first off, nobody thinks Donald Trump is fucking Natalie Harp. Nobody thinks that. You know what I'm saying? Nobody thinks that. Now, what we do think is that, like, she's caring for a dying man. Like, she's doing something, you know, she's obviously got some reason there other than running around, right? Other than running around, you know, with fucking being the human printer, okay? I mean, dude, Trump's not fucking anybody. Dude, Trump is like a marshmallow at this point. He is like a 1.5-inch marshmallow, right? He is, dude, he's not fucking anything, boss, okay? He's gross. Now, the fact that he would probably love to bang her and think about Ivanka the whole time is notwithstanding. But, dude, this is crazy. This is fucking wild. I've not seen an overreaction, right? What a gross misogynistic thing to say. Dude, she does. She carries the adult diaper bag. Dude, now, crazy. It is bizarre. It is bizarre, guys. It is bizarre. They're just so weird, guys. Aren't they weird? They're so weird. Republicans are so weird. Now, here's what's crazy, though. You ready? Hear me out on this. Even if Jon Ossoff went out on that stage and said, yo, Trump is probably fucking Natalie Harp. Even if he said that straight out, Trump is probably fucking Natalie Harp with his squishy 1-inch mushroom penis. And it's gross. I don't even want to think about it. Even if Ossoff said that directly, that is less gross than Donald Trump saying they let him grab their pussies and they don't even resist when he just abuses them. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, even if he fucking came out and said it, it's less gross than the Trump, right? He didn't say that. I know he didn't say anything like that. Like, guys, I was not thinking affair at all, okay? Dude, diaper 1 has been filled. We need diaper 2. Natalie Harp. Natalie Harp to the golf cart. We need diaper 2. No, Natalie Harp, we're going to need diapers 2 and 3 to the golf cart. Paging Natalie Harp. Put on your jogging shoes, sister. Run, Natalie, run! Dude. Oh. Oh. Dude, you like that? You like that? I like that, guys. I don't know. Something about that evangelical freak, like hand scooping shit out of Trump's diaper. Something about that just makes me so happy. Okay? It makes me so happy to know that Epstein's best friend is getting a, like, soup ladle stuck inside his fucking pants every night. Just scooping out shit. Dude, what a weakling. Bro. I fucking love it, boss. Absolutely love it, dude. Love it. Oh, bro. What the hell, dude? That is some crazy fucking it's just a crazy overreaction. Like, honestly, guys, I don't really know what to make of it. You know, like, are they trying to drum up outrage? I just don't see the outrage. Is like travel with Natalie and everyone's like, oh my God, they think Trump is fucking Natalie. She's a cancer survivor. Dude, who cares? Dude, Joe Biden has cancer and they fucking talk shit about him like all day long. Dude, she needs a lot of help, guys. Dude, she's a fucking mess, bro. But all right, thank you, Natalie. Thank you, Natalie Harp, for kicking it off, right? I like how this guy said, looks like the White House put out the bat signal in the influencer group chat because hit dogs are hollering. Ossoff's travel with Natalie is causing a nuclear level MAGA meltdown, and a lot of inference is happening from just 3 words. So Trump's camp seems to be telling on him. And like, so that's fucking, yeah, it's weird, man. It's weird. I wonder if Trump is like abusing her in some way. Like if Trump is making gnarly comments or whatever, I would not be surprised. Remember Cassidy Hutchinson, okay? Remember Cassidy Hutchinson from the first term, okay? I don't know if you remember her, but she was the Trump aide that testified against Trump. Her and several other staffers during Trump's first term, they would not leave him alone with any female staffers. They never left him alone because he was gross. He made comments about their asses and about their legs, and he made gross comments when the staffers, the interns left the room. So they literally had a policy in his first term that nobody leaves Trump alone with a female staffer ever. They did that for the entire 4 years. So there's a really good chance that he is smarming and making gross comments, being grody, being wildly inappropriate, and that everybody in the building knows. And now that Ossoff made a comment about Natalie, that everyone is flipping out and they're putting out the group chat reaction because there is actually some grossness going on with Trump. Okay? So that is like highly believable. Okay? Dude, yeah, it's pretty gnarly, right? It is pretty gnarly. Dude, 3 words. They're unraveling over 3 words, guys. Okay? You know, 3 words. Yikes. That is some big yikes. All right. Enough, though, with Natalie Harp. Dude, I want to see Scott Jennings one more minute, though.
But I'm not going to do that because each of these women deserves better treatment than what Ossoff is willing to give.
Dude! What an idiot! Dude, let's go, Engrain! Engrain said late was sitting alone in the dark after the M's game. Yes, guys. The Mariners game, guys, 22-0. Okay? Little slight interjection. The Mariners lost 22-0. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. It tied a record for the biggest shutout in modern baseball times. 22 years. 2004 was the last time somebody lost 22-0. Now, guys, it was a 1-0 game until the 5th inning. And then Bryce Miller, again, the pitcher, had the meltdown he has every game, gave up 5 runs, and all of a sudden it was 6-0. And then they put in a pitcher who gave up 5 more. And then they started giving up more. And then eventually they put a position player in to throw the pitch. And it was just a disaster, guys. Oh my God. If that doesn't turn their fucking season around, nothing will. So yeah. But dude, look at the fake grandstanding here from Scott Jennings. What is going on, dude? Dude, what is fucking going on with the like
of Natalie Harp? I guess we shouldn't be surprised at this behavior, though. Ossoff is a Democrat.
Oh.
And what do we know about Democrats and how
grab them by the pussy, Scotty? They let you do
they
it.
treat women these days? Well, we know how Graham Plattner up in Maine treated them. And we know that the Democrats denied and ignored abuse allegations.
Grab them by the pussy, dude, Scotty. Dude, Scotty Jennings, grab them. Grab them. They let you do it, Scotty. Unless they're Matt Schlapp, then they're gonna go after your sons. God. Oh shit. Dude, the grandstanding. Isn't that weird? Oh my God. All right. Sorry, I can only watch like 2 minutes. Okay? I can only watch 2 minutes of Scott Jennings. Dude, Scott Jennings is so fundamentally like annoying. Like he is such a cuck, dude. He is such a sniveling, like domestically abusive appearing cuck. You know, right? He's the guy who like cucks and then gets mad. And then his wife's like, yo, you told me to cuck and now you're mad at me. Like that's the kind of guy that Scott Jennings is he'll beg his wife to cuck. And then after it happens, he's mad at her. And she's like, yo, you asked me to do this. I swear to you, I am not wrong. I'm telling you, that is exactly the kind of guy he is. Okay? He is. Bro. Right? Dude, Scott Jennings is the worst. His beard looks like a badger arse. All right, I like it. Dude, all right, we're setting up a goal. Dude, fuck it. Let's go. The Mariners lost. I need to dance. I need to dance like there's no tomorrow, boss. There we go. That's a big fucking title. Oh, shit. All right. Shake it off, baby. Shake it off. Arse, I like that word. Dude. Dude. Dude, what is going on, dude? Seriously. What is going on, boss? Dude, homies got the fucking, right? Dude, that thing is like a ceramic diaper. That thing is ceramic. Yes. What is in this fucking guy's pants, bro? I'm serious. Now, it gets weirder, okay? Because you have Erica Kirk. She many months ago, look at this. Look at this clip. This is, again, you see the Trump diaper, watch her hand. Right? Her hand gets hooked on it. And then goes and sits above it. She's like, holy shit, bro. Dude, I think this is like a ceramic. This is like a ceramic diaper. Junk in the trunk. Let's go. Dude, yeah, this is... I've never seen anything like it. Right? Probably a brace, but what kind of brace would it be? Is it like an anal brace? It's a brace that like spreads the cheeks or what? Something is very amiss. You see this shit, right? Is it like you sit down and it just opens it up, or bulletproof? Is he afraid? He's afraid he's going to get shot in the ass? Bro, this thing is crazy. It is like crazy big, right? And accidentally grabs Trump by his diaper. I mean, dude, there's no mistaking that move. You see it. You see it, guys. She almost got her hand hooked in it. She's like, whoa. Dude, I could probably, you could like rest a coffee mug on that thing. You could rest a coffee mug up there. I wonder if Melania does that. If she's like, hey, Trumpy, come here, turn around. I want to set coffee cup on I want to set coffee cup on diaper. Oh, Trumpy, come here, Trumpy. I want to set coffee cup. Must set coffee cup on diaper. I don't love you, Trumpy. I love the Epstein. Dude, I am cracking myself up. Oh, shit, boss. Dude, Lady B cheated so much Melania has him wearing a chastity belt. Dude, what if it is, guys, what if it is some type of like biometric fucking, vacuum apparatus that allows him to still get a 𝗙𝗍𝗪𝗄, right? It's some sort of like he pushes a button and it just like can only imagine the smell. That's a full diaper. It is, Aaron. It is indeed. Dude, it's a chastity belt because, quote, he's a Christian. Wild card. Oh shit, dude. Dude, BJT got the best diaper, Riz. Let's go, Elf. He does indeed. He's got one of those High Plains diapers. High Plains diapers. I'm sorry for making you guys gag. It is a wearable sewage processing device. It is. I really think, guys, I think there is some sort of like 5G de-shitinator thing in there, that there is literally like some sort of like a bug lamp for human feces that every time he grabs his pants, it's just like, and it just removes it, right? A 5G de-shitifier. So sick he needs an external digestive system. That is very believable. Yes, it is the most powerful diaper. Guys, nobody diapers like Trump diapers. Okay? This is a diaper like no one has ever heard before. Right? This is the craziest, most like effervescent diaper. It is 5G. 5G, boss. Oh. 5G, baby. 5G de-shitification machine. All right, moving on. We have done the Trump diaper. Guys, look at this. Dude, look at this. We got to look at this. Because you ready? Are you ready for this? Fox News yesterday. Look at what Fox News did yesterday. Two sugar. Perhaps it's a stream nappy from the old days. Oh, a steam nappy from the olden days. It could be. Dude, Fox, in case you're wondering how Trump is like managing to survive the shitty economy, let me just tell you, Fox is now actively lying for the man. This is what's happening, guys. Fox is actively lying. Okay? Trump has gutted the economy. He's gutted us with tariffs. He has gutted us with a war, $1 billion a day. He has gutted us with, denying states their disaster relief and other federal monies. He has gutted us by, using Doge to gut programs. They, of course, cut SNAP and, Medicaid and Medicare, etc. But here's what Fox is doing. They're openly lying. Look at this. It says today, $4.06, a week ago, $4, a year ago, $4.13. It was $3.13 a year ago, guys. They added a full dollar to straight up lie. Now watch though, because they did issue a retraction. Let's get this dance party going. Let's go, Elf. But watch this shit.
So President Trump asking Americans for patience and paying a little bit more for gas, because the unified message from here is that gas prices will drop quickly once the operations finish. The president says that he has to do this to make sure that Iran never gets a nuclear weapon. Jackie?
All right, Edward.
All right, so again, straight up lie. Okay, now, today they did go into... Today, they did issue a retraction. Where is it? Yeah, so they corrected the record today. Where was it? Yeah. So they corrected the record today.
90 cents over the past year. Gas has increased. 90 cents over the past year. Gas has increased.
Right, that's not their retraction here. Okay.
President Trump asking Americans for patience. Has to do this nuclear weapon. Jack.
Where's the fucking retraction? Dude. I just fucking had this shit, boss.
Gas has increased 90 cents over the past year. Gas has increased.
So they did reset it, but I want to see. Where's the fucking retraction, boss? Dude, I do love searching Twitter. I thought I had this. Okay. I swear to you, I thought I bookmarked this shit. Okay, so there we go. They had to do an on-air retraction. Let's see if I can find the fucking tweet, bro. Oh, there it is. Yeah, they didn't show the graphic again though. They just did. I want to watch the fucking. Oh, here it is. Here it is. You ready? Watch this. I found it. It was Hasan, not fucking. It was Hasan and not Rupar. I get the two of them fucking messed up sometimes. But dude, watch this.
And before I toss back to you, yesterday we aired a graphic that showed gas prices incorrectly last year were $4.13 a gallon. They are in fact $3.13 a gallon. That's 90 cents more in the past year. The Trump administration says those gas prices will fall quickly once the operations in Iran ends. Now back to you.
Dude, right? They didn't put the graphic up. They fucking come back. And like, oh, yesterday, dude, he even said it wrong. when he made the retraction, he said 413 again. But this is how, like, Trump consistently gets cover from these guys. Scumbags, okay? Scumbags. And yeah, it's not 90 cents. No, the 90 cents, though, is today's price, okay? Today was like 90 cents, 93, right? It's 93 more today than a year ago. But, dude, isn't that fucked up? It's like they either fill in the gaps, they sane wash Trump, or they literally just out and out lie. And then a day later, oh, by the way, let me just, as an aside, like, our entire segment yesterday was a huge lie to make you think we're doing better than last year. Whoopsie. Dude, they're so calculated. I mean, it is impossible to overstate the amount of damage that these guys are doing to the American political arena. Unbelievable, like, what's going on. I'm just astonished. I'm astonished that people buy into this shit and continually let this shit just sort of go. Like, people, you know, I guess we have to just presume that Americans are fucking stupid is all we can really go with, right? Americans are fucking stupid, guys. They are. They are fucking dumb, bro. Dude, here we go. Ossoff was on another bender.
Because I don't think anything illustrates the times more aptly than that the draft-dodging crook president.
Yeah, they're not going to like that one.
Who has plunged our nation recklessly into a war he knows not how to end or to win.
Yeah.
Tried to imprison this man who embodies American heroism, a decorated combat veteran, naval aviators, astronaut, space shuttle commander, U.S. Senator. Donald Trump tried to lock him up for daring to state in public a fundamental principle of military law. And you heard, I work closely with Mark. We sit together on the Intelligence Committee, and it's been a privilege to see how he has persevered despite these threats of imprisonment by his own government, dutifully serving his constituents in Arizona, dutifully seeing to the national security of all Americans, and not backing down for even a moment in the face of those threats. Thank you, Mark, for all you've done. And
dude, Mark's been through a lot, man. Just going through with his wife getting shot the way she did. I mean, that's a harrowing experience, guys, right? Him and Gabby and her getting shot and almost dying, and then the recuperation, the years of her, like, getting her fucking life back together and him navigating that shit. It's profound what that guy's been through. You know? You know what I'm saying? Hold on. Dude, it is profound. Dude, it blew up the chat. Dude, Gabby Giffords is so powerful, she blew up the fucking chat. All right, guys, let's go. We got 21 and 13, baby. Let's get that dance party. Dude, Trump is an idiot. Dude, watch this. Oh, my God. As if it couldn't get worse for Trump. You got a shit-filled diaper. You got, like, you know, Natalie Harp is not Ivanka. This guy is so bumming, you can't get it up. You got a mushroom pee-pee. And if you thought it couldn't get worse, well, guess what? It just got worse.
While his approval rating is at a very low level, the lowest of his presidency. CNN's Harry Enton looking at all the numbers.
Harry!
How low is it?
You know, if this were a game of limbo, President Trump would be winning. Unfortunately, this is the game of presidential popularity, and he is reaching record lows yet again. He is losing.
Record
Just take
lows.
a look here. Okay, Trump net approval hits a term too low. Look at this. 31 points underwater. 31 points underwater, according to Ipsos, the Reuters Ipsos poll. Look where he was at the beginning of term number 2. He was at plus 6 points. So he is down, what is that? The math quickly with me. 37 points from where he was at the beginning of his second presidency. You know, President Trump was unpopular going into the midterms during his first presidency, but not anywhere as unpopular as this. He was 12 points underwater. So he is doing, versus where he was at term number 1 at this point, he is doing, what is the math here quickly? He is doing 19 points worse than he was doing in term number 1 at this point. And of course, those midterms were quite disastrous for the Republican Party. So you look at these numbers and you just go, oy vey if you're a Republican.
Yeah.
All right. Independents have a big role to play always in elections. Give us some sense of where they stand, because they're...
See, I want to piggyback on this, guys, because something happened tonight, okay, that is emblematic of this, right? Look at that, a 37-point swing. And Harry Enton's like, oy vey, right? You know what happened in Florida? It was a state seat in Florida, okay? It was the Florida State House, but it was a district that was won by Trump by 18 points. You ready? Watch this. This is fucking insane, bro. Like, some crazy shit right here, okay? Brandon Dukes, a Democrat, won over 𝗙cie𝗶𝗆𝗆𝗀, okay? He won by 88 votes, but Trump won this district by 18 points, and a Democrat won it tonight. Now, here's what's wild about this, guys. There are not even enough Democratic voters in this district to win the fucking district. But what's so crazy about it is no Republicans voted. That's what's wild. People are so mad and so disgruntled with Trump for his absolute fucking failure that they don't even want to show up and vote. Isn't that insane? Dude, again, it's that's Pennsylvania. Sorry. I'm fucking this up, guys. It was Pennsylvania, not Florida. My bad, dude. I said Florida. Dude, Pennsylvania. Shit. All right. Dude, a Pennsylvania State House district, right? Dude, that's wild. 18 points and a loss. This is fucking like, this is some crusty shit, okay? This means a lot of districts are at play, okay? Get it together. I do have to get it together, guys. I'm still on vacation mode. Dude, Ethan, let's go. Dude, Ethan, coming in hot. Dude, Elf, we got Elf in here. Elfinator says, when I was cognitive as a human, I knew a gallon of milk was more expensive than gas and Coke and Pepsi. Let's go. Dude, Elf, thank you, boss. Thank you for some of those tig-o bitties. Let's go. Dude, and Jen W coming in hot. Dude, thank you, Jen W. Dude, I'm gonna fucking give Elf a little Paula to wet his Paula whistle. Let's go. Oh shit. This is exactly why redistricting will backfire. No, this is absolutely, son of ramen. You are dead on. This is one of the things that was the danger of redistricting. Is I know Trump was sort of like, oh, redistricting, we're gonna get more seats, but he did not realize how it's like haunting. It's gonna haunt him because they had to water down a bunch of districts. And I literally think anything that is Trump plus 10 could potentially swing. Anything that is Trump plus 10. Dude, Texas is freaking out. Texas, they are freaking out. They are. Isn't that wild? Dude, that is fucking wild, man. Right? This is wild. And in fact, you have people here, right? Like this guy, Scott Pressler, who works did a bunch of work in fucking Pennsylvania. He's all torqued, right? As he should be. Dude, screw these guys. Screw them. All right, let me catch up here. Dude, we got vacation mode, but that's a good shave. Let's go, it is. Thank you, Austin. Appreciate you. Jason's Australiana coming in hot with the shrimp on the bobby. Dude, Sumi says, I was just about to ask for a Paula. Dude, Stephanie said, 18-year-old tarantula is molting. Please send love, punks. Dude, I love it. I had a tarantula, Stephanie. Right? They're amazing. I love when they molt. Dude, Sinful says, let's fucking dance. Love y'all. Let's go, guys. 13-7. 13-7. All right, we're going to watch the rest of this. Harry Enton, here we go.
There's still a lot of the party that supports Donald Trump.
Yeah, okay. So, you know what? Republicans still, in large part, support Donald Trump. But as independents who are the name of the game, they are the driver in elections. And just look at why these numbers are falling the way that they are. It is because of independents. Look at these drops. I mean, Trump's net approval rating among independents. He's 47 points underwater now. 47 points underwater. He was at minus 1 point at the beginning of his presidency, basically treading water, right? So what is that? That's a 46-point drop. So you see that drop of, 31 points from where he was at the beginning of his presidency, or 37 points from where he was at the beginning of his presidency among the overall electorate. But that's nothing compared to this 46-point drop among independents. And
see, you know what pisses me off, though, is a lot of those independents voted for this motherfucker. Right? That bothers me. These independents voted for this guy. Like, what a bunch of fucking morons. Okay? I'm sorry. Y'all are morons. What did you think you were getting? What did you get the first time? You got disaster. You got bad economics. You got increased debt. You got COVID bungling. You got yelling at reporters, putting down women, grabbing them by the pussy. You got nothing good out of the whole thing, right? They did one criminal reform bill. That was it. One fucking bill that was useful in his entire first term. It was chaos. Then he lost an election, insurrection, lied about it for 5 goddamn years. And then you stupid asses voted for him again. So, Americans are the dumbest fucking people on earth. There is no way around it. Dude, let's go. Dude, Ozzy said, did you see the new Andrew Cope vid? He got candied. Let's go. Dude, Ozzy, put a link to it. Thank you, Shrimp on the Barbie. Put a link to it in the Discord. What is the Andrew Cope vid? I totally want to watch that. Dude, Elf says, I know Paul was born in 66 and I'm 84, but I enjoy the ladies. Dude, Elf is saying he likes the MILFs, is what Elf is saying. Okay, in case you were wondering, Elf, MILF. I mean, it's like, all right, whoop, let's go. Dude, fits like a Vulcan glove. Dude, let's go. Hey, man, there's nothing wrong with that, dude. Love it. Love it. Live it. Live it. Own it. Be it. Let's go. All right, guys, we got 3.5 minutes. We need 11. Let's hit this. 11-4, baby. Then we're going to finish up with Harry Enton. Dude, Harry Enton? I don't know, dude. After talking about Elf and Paula White and MILFs, and then saying we're going to finish up with Harry Enton, dude, it just doesn't sound right. Okay? Oh, shit. Dude, that's funny. The good old Harry Enton. This is chaos. I'm just riffing tonight, guys. I'm in a really good mood. Even though the Mariners lost 22-0, guys. 22-0. My baseball team, dude. Jason's Australiana. Trip on the Barbie. Let's go. Dude, Travis says, quit believing their lies and they'll quit telling them. Oh, shit. Dude, we do have to look at some of the elections. We have to look at some of the elections in a little bit, guys, because it was pretty crazy. This is for Alf. Let's go. Some crazy shit went on. Dude, Steph said, love you, punks. Let's go. Dude, nothing to see here. Says, highly recommend checking out the Andrew Tate spoof that Eamon Animations did, peak comedy. All right, dude, throw it in Discord, boss. We'll fucking check it out. We're 7 away, guys. 7-2, baby. Let's giddy up. Dude, can I just tell you, I saw something that was so funny, okay, because of the amount of, like, abuse and essay and all the rapists that are coming out with all these men, especially these Republicans, and, like, the president being a rapist. Dude, I saw this woman who basically said, you know, the way I think it should go with men is, she said, I think men should start off in prison and they should have to earn their way out. Dude, that's what she said. And I was like, oh my God, that's funny, but it almost sounds legit, right? Dude, Anne-Marie, yo, let's go, Anne-Marie, thank you. Isn't that funny? That's what I fucking thought. I thought that was funny. She was like, yeah, I'm starting to believe that all men should just start in prison and then the good ones can earn their way out. And dude, you almost like, yeah, I get it. I get it. I get why women are feeling that way, right? I get why women are fucking feeling those vibes. All right, last minute, baby. We need 6. We got 1 minute. It is crunch time. This is it. Are we dancing or are we dancing? Oh, shit. Here we go. 45 seconds. Ooh. 30 seconds. Oh, shit. Yeah, dude, the Mariners, that was rough to watch. 20 seconds. 6 in 20 seconds. 15, 14, 5. LFG boss, let's go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. You like the haircut and shave? All right, let's go. Let's go. I did get a new haircut yesterday. 5 away. Dude, me and my man both worked our way out of prison. So, Stephanie, let's go. Dude, 4 away. Dude, 3 away. Dude, thank you, 𝗙cie𝗶𝗽𝗀. Dude, Cord says, 𝗪𝗛 𝗫𝑠𝑝aghettios, I just got here. All right, we're 3 away, guys. We are in bonus time. We got 1 minute. We're going to bring up the 1 minute timer. Here we go. Here we go. Right? And Grain coming in hot. 2 away. We're 2 away. 2 away from fucking dance magic, baby. From Dance Dance Revolution. Oh, shit. Here we go. Here we go. 2 away. We got it. Still paying for dog's ACL. Ouch. Dude, that sounds brutal. We're getting it. Dude, 1 away. Let's go. Ford coming in hot. And here we go. The last one coming in hot, baby. And there it is. 𝗪𝗛. I wasn't being silly when I said nice shave. Let's go. No, I appreciate it. Dude, I'm into the shave face now, guys. Dude, Shovel Dead. Let's go. Shovel Dead coming in hot. Let's go. Shovel Dead. With the pile on. Let's go, boss. Thank you, boss. Let's go, baby. We did it. Oh. Oh!
Hey!
Sakatara, sakatara. Let's go, dude. Sinful, stay radiant. You too, boss. Dance Magic Dance. Thank you, Steph. Stephanie. All right, dude, we did it. We did it. We did it with a little 𝗙cie𝗶𝗹𝗀. All right, 𝗣𝗢𝗏𝗡, finish us off with your 𝗣𝗢𝗏𝗡, buddy.
And compare that to where he was at this point in term number 1 before those midterms. Again, he was underwater then, but he was just 10 points underwater then. Now he's 47 points underwater. So that's a drop of what? 37 points? So this has been the problem with President Trump's second term, according to the public, which is he is going and placating the base, but leaving the center of the electorate behind. But you know what? You have to win the center of the electorate in order to maintain your popularity, in order for Republicans to win in these midterm elections. But independents are saying, you know what? We don't like what's going on. See you later.
Yeah, and the big question is, do they show up and vote for a Democrat or do they not show up? Those are always the questions you have to ask.
Dude, if all I could say is this, guys. If the American voters, hold on, let me clean up the forehead here. All right, there we go. If the American voters, those independents, don't show up and vote for Democrats, we need to ship them out, okay? We need to mass deport independent voters in America, okay? Because it's getting stupid at this point. It is. I mean, look at what Trump has done, dude. He's like trying to prevent you from passing laws to control or restrict AI, okay? Rampant corruption, thievery, firing, hundreds of thousands of people in the government, stripping away their good jobs and their retirement benefits, cutting social services, spending $1 billion a day on a war that he lied about, that we shouldn't even be in. He's lying about every day. He's taken $400 million gifts from, Middle East nations, dictatorial ones, by the way, degenerate ones. His family is just raking in money left, right, and sideways. He's fucking tariffed the shit out of people. Farms going bankrupt in record numbers. Houses being foreclosed upon in record numbers. Credit card debt, record numbers. The national debt is almost 40 trillion. He's adding national debt at record rates. There is nothing this guy has done. Not what did he do? Oh, no tax on tips up to $25,000. Yo, newsflash. Nobody who gets tips even fucking, nobody even claims that shit. Right? Even that wasn't a huge deal. I guess no tips on Medicare. Right? Okay. One good thing. He did one good thing. Bro, dude, Congress is doing nothing. They're talking about putting his face on Mount Rushmore and they're naming streets after Charlie Kirk. Dude, the entire Republican Party should literally be detonated and kicked into the dust. I'm serious. The entire Republican Party needs to just be disappeared at this point. I mean, they have all three branches of government, and all they've done effectively is hide the Epstein files. That's it. The only thing they have done, with aplomb, is hiding the fucking Epstein files. That is it. That's all they've done, guys. Give me a fucking break. All right, now, you ready? If it couldn't get, you think it can't get dumber. You think it can't get dumber, and then it gets dumber, okay? Now, we got to talk about Darline Graham. Darline! Yo! Darline Graham! Yeah, political punk. I got a question for you, honey. If your name's Darline, why do you spell it Darline? Is that like a bumpkin thing? Or did Lindsay make you trade your E for an I? Because he didn't want you telling nobody that he was in the closet? I'm wondering why it's spelled Darline. I'm also kind of wondering why you're running for the Senate when you are so clearly so fucking dumb. Yeah, we're all kind of wondering that. Yeah, hello? Darline! All right, fuck you, bye-bye. All right, she hung up on me. Dude, she's weak. Dude, Elf! No way! Dude, Elf going crazy, dropping the dimes. He says, I don't know anything about your son on the East Coast, but he definitely needs it. Let's go! Oh! Tingle bitties! Dude, let's fucking go, baby. Dude, Elf is going fucking crazy. Another Paula for you, Elf. Now, you might ask, why am I going hard on Darline Graham? Okay, for those of you who don't know, Darline Graham, right? She didn't even use the last name Graham until about 3 weeks ago. Okay, but she changed her name back to Graham because she became a suck-up puppet that they're trying to squeeze into Lindsey Graham's Senate seat, and she did finish, you know, in the fucking runoff. So she's in the runoff election. They had a debate today, guys. Now, mind you, okay, Darline Graham, she has no government experience. She has no experience even relevant to being in the government. I don't think this woman has even followed politics her entire fucking life. Okay, but she, the party of anti-DEI, the party of you better earn it, right? You gotta really deserve the job. Only the best, most qualified people get the job. Now we got Darline Graham coming in the debate. You want to see this debate, guys? Oh, shit hell. This debate is something you gotta see it to believe it. And again, I didn't bookmark it, but I thought I bookmarked it, but hold on, we're gonna get Darline. Okay, watch this. This is unbelievable here. All right, you ready? This is one of the craziest clips you're ever gonna see. You ready? Watch this.
On the national security question as well.
All right, it's Darline Graham answering a good old national security question for our future senator. Watch this. She's in a debate. I mean, look at her, guys. I'm sorry, dude. Dude, I hate to be that guy, but I'm going to be that guy. But like, yo, what in the fucking bumpkin is this, dude? Dude, yo, it's like they're giving away Senate seats down at the fish fry. Oh, shit. Shit, hell. I went to Dairy Queen. I went to take a leak in the bathroom at Dairy Queen, and they done made me a senator. There was a free invite to the Senate on the toilet seat. It said, Darline Graham, you get to be a senator now, because you know how to use this seat. All seats look the same. Oh, shit, hell. Dude, let's go. All right, I'm serious, though, guys. This is the craziest fucking question I've ever seen. Oh, you got it? You got the clip of Darline? All right, I got one, too, Natalie. Thank you for being on that. Dude, Bamf Dance, let's go, Elf. Yo, Tommy, we're all Stephs. I should have gone by Annie. Dude, Stephanie, yeah, there are a couple Stephanies here. No, seriously, though, guys. This is a debate. This is a fucking debate to be a senator in South Carolina from the anti-DEI, only the most qualified to fucking get the job. Here we go.
On the national security question as well, Senator, are Taiwan and the South China Sea national security issues for the United States? If so, why?
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question?
Are Taiwan and the South China Sea national security issues for the United States, and if so, why or how?
I'm just going to be honest here. I'm not on national security. I'm not that informed on national security, so, but I do support the military.
On the national...
Dude, what the fuck? Dude, first off, she's like, can you repeat the question? Right? You heard the question, Darline. And well, I'm just going to be honest. I don't even know where Taiwan is. but I do support the military. She's like, yo, she's like, I don't know anything about foreign policy. I've never even heard of Taiwan. But yeah, I support the military, so should we bomb the shit out of them? Dude, what the fuck, bro? Isn't that the craziest thing you have ever seen in your life? Guys, wow. Like, unfucking real, dude. Elf says, we need more mace tattoos. We do. We do need more mace tattoos. Dude, we need to see it all. I want to see all the tattoos. Isn't that crazy? Like, unfucking believable. I support the military. Oh my God. Dude. What are we fucking doing, bro? Dude, here's what she tweeted. She says, Ralph Norman has to be convinced to stand with President Trump. Senator Darline Graham has the president's complete and total endorsement because he knows that she will polish the knob and do whatever she is told, boss.
It's kind of ironic when you talk about the big, beautiful bill, because it's my understanding that you were the holdout on the big, beautiful bill, and Trump had to call you in and convince you to sign it. It's kind of...
Dude, that's her attack, because the big, beautiful bill. Holy shit, dude. Bro, this shit is crazy. Yeah, watch this. Oh, this is another good one.
50 million people in South Carolina. Half of them live paycheck to paycheck. 50 million people in South Carolina.
Dude, she thinks there's 50 million people. Yo, Darlene, there's like almost 50 million people in California. Dude, South Carolina has 5 million people, bro. Dude, there's Taiwan is an island off South Carolina there, Darline. Oh my God, dude. Unfucking believable, boss. Dude, somebody said Senator Darline Graham is running laps around him in this debate. Dude, how does this guy say this, bro? What drugs are these people on? Dude, look at this. This guy's a MAGA right here. Even this MAGA guy said Darline Graham had objectively one of the worst debate performances I've seen in a long time. Dude, isn't it crazy? Dude, it's true. Dude, this was even worse than like Tim Walz saying he's friends with school shooters. Dude, right? I shit you not. Like Tim Walz was like, dude, I'm friends with school shooters. Remember that? That was one of the fucking, it was like when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, this guy cannot debate. What does that mean? Mace tattoo lost. Let's go. Stephanie, that's about Nancy Mace's tattoos. I made a video about it that went up tonight. You can check it out. All right, let's see the full answer to her question here. This is the full answer on the military question.
Senator, if you want to respond, or we can move on. It's your choice.
That's okay. We'll move on.
Okay, we'll move on. All right. Okay.
Go ahead.
On the national security question as well.
Dude, again, even there, though, she didn't respond to whatever Ralph Norman said. She's like, oh, I'll move on. All right, here we go.
Senator, if you want to respond, or we can move on. It's your choice.
That's okay. We'll move on.
Okay, we'll move on. All right. Okay.
Go ahead.
On the national security question as well. Senator, are Taiwan and the South China Sea national security issues for the United States? If so, why?
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question?
Are Taiwan and the South China Sea national security issues for the United States, and if so, why or how?
I'm just going to be honest here. I'm not on national security. I'm not that informed on national security, so but I do support the military. My brother was in the Air Force for 33 years, so I will do everything I can to support the military. My dad was in the Army. I'm not a polished politician up here. National security is not my thing, not my area of expertise, but I do support the military.
Congressman, I'll give you a chance to respond, and I'm sure he recognizes that.
Taiwan's a definite ally, and we have a trading relationship with them that is beneficial to the United States. Chips being one of them, and others. So what the president is doing right is he's enabling Taiwan to defend themselves against China. But it's peace through strength that he's showing with Iran that China, Russia. Others are looking at it so that they don't want to deal with America, and that's why they haven't attacked Taiwan. If they had some weak Democrat in office like Biden or another Obama, yeah, they'd take it over. But we can't let that happen. We got to take a strong peace through strength is working.
Dude, yeah, they didn't take it over when Biden was fucking right. They didn't take it over when Biden was in office. You dumb shit. Or they would have already taken it over, you dumb shit. But like, yo, dude, look at how dumb she is. She's like, I don't know nothing about fucking national security. Like, yo, I mean, why you want to be a senator, right? Why do you want to be a senator if you don't know anything about national security? You know? She's like, what are you gonna do? You know, have you looked at any of like the geopolitical fucking right? Have you looked at any of America's geopolitical situation at all? Or you just, oh shit, Trump just called you up and said, I'm gonna make you a senator and you're gonna lick my boot and do everything I say. And she's like, yes, sir. Darline Graham reporting for duty. Where's the boot? Dude, that legal pad is used for rubber stamping only. Dude, I don't even know what this legal pad is. I venture to guess this legal pad has like drawings of like doilies and shit on it, right? That's my best guess, is that there's some fucking doilies and right? She's like writing, you know, please get me off the stage. She's writing an unaliving note. Oh, Jesus. Shit is crazy, bro. Dude, Elf! Let's go, Elf! Tingle bitty! It's fucking crazy, Elf! Let's go! Do we love to see it? Elf says, I grew up next door to a Taiwanese immigrant and I helped him to play hockey and piano. He's now an engineer and makes more money than me. LOL, let's go, dude. Dude, that's crazy. You fucking helped kick him off, boss. Right? Isn't that wild? Dude, good job. Good job on fucking Elf helping out the neighbor. You know the thought I had when I was in New York, guys? So I need to take a New York, right? I need to take a New York fucking respite here. Because we just got back from a trip to New York to see my son. He got a job. He got a runner and a back server job at a fine dining restaurant in the Four Seasons Hotel in the financial district. So he's going to be making good money. He starts that this week. So that was pretty cool. We got to see him perform in an open mic and he was amazing. He like totally has like a very unique vibe with the way he sings and plays guitar, and it was captivating. Everyone in the room was captivated. It was his first open mic, and it was like so good. So all of that was great. But what I couldn't stop thinking about on the way back was like, what would my life be like if Bryce had never started playing Fortnite? Okay, because I had quit my job to try starting a film career, okay? And I ended up getting a little depressed, started playing a lot of Star Wars Battlefront, and then eventually Bryce started playing Fortnite, and then I saw the characters dancing, him and his friends playing Fortnite. And I was like, whoa, that's so crazy. And then he talked me into playing Fortnite. I was like, dude, it looks complicated. He's like, no, Dad, you can do it. And so he taught me how to play. And then when I started streaming on my PS4, all of his friend group used to watch my streams. So I initially had like 5, 7, 10 kids watching because it was all my son's friend group from when he played the game. And so then 2 years later, I like had made a ton of money and was like this big thing. But it all started because he like talked me into playing. Isn't that weird? Like, if he had never played Fortnite, would I even have this career that I have right now? Like, dude, it's crazy, right? It's fucking wild, right? And so to answer your question, Jake, about what he sounded like. So in the open mic, he did a cover of Gordon Lightfoot. If You Could Read My Mind, right, is what he did. That was the song he played in the open mic. And his voice, though, is like really quiet and like gentle and kind of like rich, right? I know he really likes Elliott Smith and Neil Young, but I think he's got like I don't know, he's got a really rich, like it's a really chesty voice that can also like hit high notes too, but it's really soft and gentle. But yeah, he played this amazing cover. It brought me to tears like twice during it. But yeah, somebody said, you have your son to thank. I do. Yeah. And that's though why like part of the reason why now I fucking, I help him financially, like just as much as I can, any way that I can make his life easier. I'm totally fucking, I'm totally all in with that. Put in 2,500 hours on Rocket League. Let's go. Yeah, I think on Fortnite I've put in like 20,000, dude. One of the best humans. I'm one of the best humans. I don't know about that, boss. Right? I try to be good, but I have a lot of degeneracy. I'm a bit of a degenerate. Let's go. Oh shit. Let's fucking go. All right, sorry, Darline. Dude, isn't that crazy? Dude. Dude, this is wild. Yeah. And here, right? Her name was Darline Nordoni. Dude, what an idiot, bro. And you know what's funny, guys? I just realized where, why I had no problem finding this thing, guys, because it was on my main timeline. That's why I didn't bookmark it, because I commented about it. All right. So let's talk about Florida a little bit, guys. I want to talk about Florida here for a couple of minutes, and then we're going to look at some Andrew Tate shit, and then we're going to look at the new Epstein reveals on Trump, because that is really gnarly. But I do want to talk a tiny bit about Florida, guys. Okay? Florida was pretty crazy because, first off, Oliver Larkin lost against Jared Moskowitz. And I was a little bummed by that. But, guys, this was pretty crazy here because Moskowitz, look at what he did. He tweeted to Hasan, okay? Now, Oliver Larkin, we've seen Oliver Larkin. He's a very well-spoken guy who was calling out Trump's grift, was calling out a lot of the issues of the day. He did lose. Moskowitz won by quite a bit. Now, so Jared Moskowitz, after he won, he decided to tweet this snarky little thing saying, My condolences to Hasan. And it's like, dude, this is a sitting congressman, okay? And he is fucking tweeting at a Twitch streamer because the Twitch streamer was campaigning with this guy and he won and he thinks it's like some kind of a big deal, right? In his little fucking district, okay? And you know what bothered me, guys? Yeah, it's Hasan Piker. What bothered me is this, is that this is the same vibes that you get from AIPAC, okay? We all saw it. Every time AIPAC spends $20 million on a primary and they defeat some progressive candidate, they get online and they start tweeting at the candidate saying really snarky shit like, you know, pro-Israel is good politics. You can't win in America if you don't defend Israel. None of this progressive shit, right? AIPAC does that. They gloat and they get so snarky and shitty and they rub your nose in it after they spent like millions of fucking dollars. And so I thought it was really ironic that Moskowitz is a heavily AIPAC funded candidate. And as soon as he wins, he does the same shit, you know, where it's like he is fucking, right? He is sitting here, you know, like snarking at a, you know, pro-Palestinian Twitch streamer, like, aha, AIPAC, me and my AIPAC money, we beat you, right? Dude, yeah, it's just weird. And what's more of this, though, guys, is how this is like, there's like a disconnect with some of these people. And you know, it's Jared Moskowitz, it's the AIPAC funded candidates, but it's also establishment Dems like Neera Tanden, okay, who got herself into a little pickle today. I mean, she's been all in on this Hasan thing. All they've done is talked about Hasan. But now I want to show you something else here, okay? Look at this. This is crazy here. Watch this, all right? So, right here, Tom Tiffany ran an ad about David Crowley, okay? Because as you might expect, David Crowley beat Francesca Hong in the Wisconsin governor primary. And then he immediately went on this whole data center tour. And he made some statements about data centers. Now, the Republicans are now running against David Crowley from the left. Even though they have worse data center policy, the Republicans are lying and exaggerating Crowley's data center policy using his own statements. And they're attacking him as though he is just going to fill data centers everywhere. Okay? And look at what he says. He says, new ad, Crowley wants Wisconsin to become a data center hub for the entire globe. That's not my vision. And so look at this guy. Will Staken comes in and says, Dems went from maybe having Francesca Hong, who was just on the cover of Time magazine for opposing data centers, to someone Republicans are dubbing Data Center David Crowley. Now, the reason why I bring this up is because Neera Tanden and Jared Moskowitz and all of these other AIPAC-funded assholes, they always say, oh, you got to vote for our candidate because we're the only ones electable. And then they want Abdul El-Sayed to moderate his views, but they don't demand that David Crowley fucking pull his head out of his ass because their candidate can do whatever, right? And now the Republicans are running against him with a very popular sort of point of view, making it look like the Democrat is bad on data centers. But look at what Neera Tanden said. She said, is this ad accurate? Media might have a role with answering that question. And it's like, really? Like, so Neera Tanden now believes it's the media's job to correct the Republican political campaigning techniques in order to protect their establishment candidate. Oh, the media's got to fix this. But like, dude, look at what people were saying. They're saying, right, the media who is constantly talking about Hasan or the DSA or Abdul, right? It's like, they're like, literally all you've been talking about for the past 3 weeks is 𝗙cie𝗶𝗽𝗀. Okay? That's all Neera Tanden and Shannon Watts and Fred Gutenberg and these fucking like Israel bomb funding assholes in the centrist part of the Democratic Party. All of them have been talking about 𝗙cie𝗶𝗽𝗀, and they've been talking about the DSA, and they've been attacking Democrat primary winners, right? And shredding them. And then as soon as their candidate gets attacked, they're like, oh, the media should fix this. It's like, what fucking clowns, bro. I am so tired of these people. Okay? I am so tired of these people where they gloat and they fucking, you know, they pull this shit. Now, Neera Tanden and Jared Moskowitz, they want you to think that only the big money Dems can win, right? Oh, yeah. Hasan's candidate, right? The progressive candidate, the DSA guy, Oliver Larkin, you can't win. You can't win in Florida. Well, guess what? Guess who won a fucking statewide primary in Florida? You ready for this? In spite of Jared Moskowitz and his little snark, and in spite of Neera Tanden dissing on, you know, all of the fucking DSA candidates, look who fucking won, boss. Look who fucking won, dude. Angie Nixon won the statewide Democratic primary for Senate. Dude, the upset of the day. You ready for this? Look at this, guys. This is big. This is like fucking huge, bro. Look at her. She won by 13 points over Alex Vindman. Okay, Vindman had like $20 million. Okay, this guy, she had less than $1 million. He had 17 times the money. And he was supported by the Dem establishment. He was like their guy. And not only that, but Vindman was one of the guys who testified against Trump in the January 6th shit. He was the guy that was like the representative of the establishment anti-Trump regime. And he got his ass walloped statewide in fucking Florida, boss. Isn't that insane? And she is DSA. She's not just a progressive. A DSA candidate won the Democratic primary for fucking senator. Dude, isn't that amazing? That is huge. Like, I shit you not, guys. This is like Abdul El-Sayed. This is huge, except even bigger because Florida's not even a purple state, okay? Even the Democrats down there are supposed to be the most conservative among the Democrats in all of America, and they are actively saying, fuck this. Now, hear me out on this, because I did clap back a little bit with Adam Kinzinger, okay? Now, check this, okay? Check this out. Because Adam Kinzinger got in here, all right? Let me find you his tweet, dude. Now, remind you, he's a fucking Republican, okay? This guy right here. Look at this, okay? Adam Kinzinger, now we appreciate him, whatever, but this guy's a fucking Republican. And this guy there's a bunch of Republicans, you know, there's Adam Kinzinger, there's fucking Joe Walsh, there's Liz Cheney, whatever. There are these people that were upset that MAGA took over the Republican Party, and so they started becoming friends of the Democrats, but they want the Democratic Party to become the old Republican Party, okay? That's what they want, guys. They want the Dems to move right and to become their old party, All right. Now, I appreciate Adam Kinzinger, like, being our friend. But, like, at the end of the day, to Adam Kinzinger, fuck your politics, bro. Fuck your Republican Party. Okay? And fuck you thinking you're going to come to the Democratic Party and make us like your old shitty Republican Party. That was fucking terrible. And that got taken over by a bunch of assholes because you're all weak and degenerate. Yeah. And I mean, dude, Tim Miller, he's kind of the same way. I mean, I know he's whatever, nice guy, funny guy, gay dude, whatever, the bulwark. But man, all of these Republicans that have fucking slid over here and started trying to become, right? Trying to become like, you know, these Sherpas of like helping the Dems out by making our party right wing. I'm like, fuck all of them. But look at what he said. He said Vindman could have won this race. Now it's lost. Really dumb nomination. And I'm like, yo, dude, like, I don't think Vindman could have won the race because he couldn't even win the primary. So if you can't win your primary, you couldn't have won the race, for starters, okay? And number two, it's like, obviously the only person that can win the race is fucking Angie Nixon. And instead of like supporting Angie Nixon and shit, right? They're going to sit here and start this like lamenting, okay? When it's like, yo, dude, the voters voted for Angie Nixon. So the voters clearly want her. Like, why don't you help who the voters pick win? Dude, all of these guys, fucking shit fucking pisses me off, boss. You know what I'm saying? All of these people that are fucking doing this shit, all of these like former Republican scabs that are now, you know, trying to, right? Like here's another one who said, yay. So now instead of having a 10 to 20% chance of winning the seat, there's now a 0% chance. And it's like, sorry, boss, but if you can't win the primary, you have a 0% chance, right? Dude, you know? They don't ever want to listen to the voters. They don't, guys. Right? They just ignore the voters and they think like, oh, they like forget the voters. The voters should do what we tell them to do for a fucking chance to win. And it's like, yo, man, I really believe more and more that, you know, these DSA candidates and some of these other leftist and progressive candidates can absolutely win. We just have to stop. Like right now, we contend with the fact that our own party tries to portray us as more dangerous than the enemy, you know? And that's really like more than anything, that is one of the huge problems that we're having. Right? Dude, it is so insulting. It is like seriously insulting. Dude, fucking bullshit. But yeah, this was a huge win, guys. Okay? This is a huge fucking win, right? The pigs don't want to get off the feed. Yeah, the feed trough. I mean, that's true. That is true. Is like, I mean, this is part of the reason, guys, that I've been sort of radicalized in the last 2 years, because I heard all the leftists talking about it after Gaza. I heard them talking about it before that, you know, during the Bernie Sanders time and all that shit. But like, I was like so committed to the Democratic Party. And then after Trump lost, I was like, or after Trump won, after Kamala lost and Trump won, I thought, okay, what are we going to do now? How are we going to rebound from this? And then Mamdani shows up and part of the party was like supporting fucking Cuomo. And then after Cuomo loses, he runs again. He won't take no for an answer. He's like grapey with it. And then Mamdani wins. And it was like a total fucking shred, right? On everybody on the left, everybody progressive, all the DSA, everything from the Dems. And I was like, yo, dude, what the fuck is going on? And the bullshit around Abdul al-Said and saying shit like, oh, he's anti-American. It's like, no, he's not. Where now the Democrats are saying Muslim people are anti-American. Or if you don't want to like give Israel bombs, you're anti-American. And that's fucking crazy, man. That is crazy shit. The last 2 years have been really, really rough, right? You really liked Oliver Larkin? Yeah, I mean, guys, like Larkin, he had an uphill battle. His district is like, you know, I mean, it's Palm Beach, guys. Okay? Right? It's Palm Beach, guys. Moskowitz's district. That is like Trump's backyard. So even the Democrats in Palm Beach are like moneyed. They're definitely Zionist. They're definitely fucking, you know, don't want a lot of change. Okay? You know, they don't want a lot of change. And that's it. There are still pockets of Democrats that are white and that are rich that don't want fucking change. All right? There's part of that. And then there are also parts of Democrats, though, that are minority voters that are like distrustful of a lot of like the socialism concepts and social democracy. And that is something that I feel like is in progress of like some of that is changing, you know, I mean, definitely. And that's what's crazy too, guys. Okay. Is like, I get this a lot where I see black voters either online or black voters that I have contact with through this stream who will talk to me about like black voters not trusting the DSA and not trusting socialism and liking the mainstream Democratic Party. And yet though, right? Look at what fucking like so many of the DSA candidates are black women, right? You know what I'm saying? Isn't that weird? Isn't that weird? That shit is weird, guys. That, like, I've not quite understood that, okay? Right? How, like, why is it that there are so many black women that run and win in the DSA, and yet there's a large contingent of black voters that think the DSA is like really racist? And I don't know, that's confusing to me. I feel like some of it is an age gap, you know, for sure. But hold on one sec here. Give me one sec here, guys. I gotta do something real quick. Oh, I was wrong too. Because Florida 25 is this. Okay. Florida 25 is Boca. All right, Boca Raton and Fort Lauderdale and down into Miami, right? So it is not Palm Beach. Palm Beach is a little further up. Dude, why was I looking at Palm Beach? Oh, Florida, it's between the 21st and 22nd. Okay. So let me see. I want to see why. Because I was looking at Palm Beach earlier today. Right? So Palm Beach is up. Right? The 25th is down here. Moskowitz is just south of fucking Palm Beach. But what I'm curious about though is who I was looking at, where I was looking at who was the 21st. I was looking at somebody there. Because Moskowitz was down in the 25th. And then Palm Beach. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I was looking at. But I had that incorrect though. All right, because it is Palm Beach is up here. Right? That's Boca. Boca. I mean, it's the same shit. Slightly less rich, but still, I mean, even if you look at the part of Miami-Dade that's in his thing, is North Miami Beach and the fucking fancy shit out here, right? So, like, most of this is, like, moneyed. Most of this is still, like, Epstein territory. I mean, it's not as fucking as posh as Palm Beach, for sure, but it is absolutely, like wealthy white Zionist fucking, like area. Right? Dude, crazy. But, dude, I'm really excited about this, though. Angie Nixon, I'm really excited about it. Because here's the thing, right? Is I think, hold on, I gotta get, oh, shit. I need some air. Bro, it's so hot in here, boss. It's 1,000 degrees in here. Dude, I really like her. She's feisty, man. She got arrested by DeSantis once for, like, protesting him. Dude, why would anybody still vote Republican? Well, let me just tell you this, okay? Here's the thing. Here's the thing you have to contend with in Florida. All right. So Florida is really, really complicated because on the one hand, Florida has a lot of Cubans and a lot of like South and Central American population that is very, very Catholic. And so some of the Republican religious aspects, a lot of those people vote Republican, okay, because of their Catholicism. That's number one, okay? There is a lot of patriarchal, like Catholicism that is big with the MAGA. That's number one, okay, in Florida. Number two in Florida is that there's a lot of really dumb rednecks, okay? White people, dumb fucking rednecks, like beyond dumb. That's number two. They're also MAGA. Number three in Florida is there's a lot of old people. Old people, okay? A lot of old people. And so a lot of the old people are still, you know, they want to hold on to their money. They don't want like a death tax. And so a lot of old people are voting just based on wanting to be able to leave their estates and shit to their families, and they don't want to pay any taxes. Okay? So those are all problems. Now, another problem that is voter disenfranchising. Okay? Florida is really gnarly about disenfranchising voters. They're very bad at it. And in fact, they've had a long history. I mean, Florida was a slave state, okay? And in fact, Florida was the gnarliest slave state, guys, because it was a territory. If you look at the history of Florida, okay, Florida was a territory that was controlled by native people. And America didn't want it because it was shit land, okay? It was like inhospitable. There was a ton of malaria. So fucking hot down there and all the Everglades and shit. But what ended up happening is eventually Americans would smuggle slaves to Florida and sneak them into Georgia and South Carolina and Alabama. And then, though, they had a problem where a lot of times slaves would escape. And when the slaves would escape into the Florida territory, the natives would welcome them, and the slaves would teach the natives how to farm. And the natives started like allowing the slaves to live with them. And so the slave owners were like, fuck, bro, we got to take this territory because that otherwise our slaves are going to escape there and we're never going to get them back. So they literally picked up the Florida territory to prevent, it was like Epstein buying the bigger island is the whole thing behind it. So this state has a history of like really shitty fucking behavior. Okay. Now, they've been disenfranchising in Florida with like felony charges. This has been a huge problem in Florida. If you're a minority in Florida and you get arrested, they're going to slap you with a felony like almost exclusively. They're going to take away your voting rights. And in fact, Florida voted on a statewide resolution to give felony people their voting rights back if they had served their time. And then DeSantis went in there and cucked it, and they fucking took something the people voted on that approved overwhelmingly, and they undermined it and made it so, oh, they have to pay the restitution. And so then now they have a thing where all they have to really do is they can fucking, you know, arrest somebody, give them a charge, and then make some insane amount of restitution that the people can't pay back. And then they can permanently disenfranchise people. So there were supposed to be a whole bunch of felons that would get their voting rights back. And the people voted on this measure, and DeSantis fucked it and put a loophole in there with the restitution that makes it, right? That makes it so now, you know, all those people didn't get their voting rights back. Okay. So there's just a lot of bad shit in that state. Okay. A lot of bad shit there. And DeSantis is a crook, and his wife is a crook. Dude, it's brutal. Dude, Jennifer Jones, let's go! Dude, we love it. Thank you, Jennifer. Dude, yeah, it's crazy. So yeah, Florida is messed up. And it's too bad because I like it. I think the Keys, I've not yet been to the Keys, but I've seen pictures of the Keys, and it's like, dude, I want to go there. And I love Disney World. I've been there, right? And, you know, Orlando was great. And I've been up in the Panhandle in Tallahassee and Jacksonville. I've never been to Miami. I have a feeling I would like Miami. But, dude, I'm just really bummed that it's so shitty because I don't want to spend any money there. Right? Because I just don't, you know, it's just a terrible fucking state run by terrible fucking crooked people. All right. Where do I come from? So, I mean, for me, I was born in Watertown, Wisconsin. And then I grew up a little bit in a tiny town in Wisconsin of 3,000 people called Elkhorn. And then I moved back and forth between either Elkhorn or Watertown and Los Angeles. Like every other year, we moved back and forth. So I grew up, I had a weird upbringing where I grew up both in a town of 10,000 people, a town of 3,000 people, and a city of like 8 million, right? Isn't that wild? That is crazy. I did not grow up in East Troy. Elkhorn was near East Troy. East Troy was where Alpine Village is, and my cousins, I had some cousins that lived in East Troy. But yeah, dude, it's pretty fucking, I don't know. I feel like, you know, having lived in both a small town and in a very large metropolitan city was really, it was really eye-opening for me as a kid, right? Because I got to see what like racism looked like in a small town versus racism in a big city. And I got to see what like a factory closure doing in a small town compared to like, you know, the entrepreneurship of like a big city. And I got to see, you know, what it was like growing up in the safe small town that was filled with domestic violence and alcoholism and child abuse. And then the dangerous big city that was actually filled with like hope and fucking, you know, a lot of like really cool shit. It's weird. I mean, there's this thing, this idea that small towns are better than big cities, that they're safer and whatever, and they're just not. They're just a different type of danger. But they definitely, like small towns, though they can be quaint and everybody knows everyone's name and whatever, and you have this feeling of safety because of the familiarity. But the problem is that small towns are just filled with, you know, child molestation, alcoholism, depression, domestic violence, and they're actually like, they're bad for the human soul. Okay? They are like the thing that's really weird is some of the greatest self-destructive elements of society run rampant in small towns, from drugs and teen pregnancy, domestic violence, child abuse, right? They run rampant in small towns, but like none of the solutions exist there. There's not a good system of like therapy or Alcoholics Anonymous or, right? It's like none of the fixes for the demons exist. There's just the demons. And that's what's really dangerous about the small towns, right? Oh, shit. So Jennifer Jones says, you were correct about Palm Beach. She lives in Fort Lauderdale. You used to be Florida 23, which did include parts of Palm Beach. Redistricting means you're 25, no Palm Beach now. Okay, so I'm not crazy. Maybe I was looking at an old map then. All right, interesting. Thank you, Jennifer. I appreciate that. All right. Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know, man. Like the small towns are like they're just, there's too much sadness. You know, there's too much sadness. Dude, Elf, let's go, baby. Elf says, my favorite pop was made in Janesville, Wisconsin, but I don't know about you, but I still say pop. Dude, Janesville. Dude, we used to drive to Janesville to go to, we used to go to the Kmart when we lived in Elkhorn. We would go to Janesville to go to the Kmart, dude. Dude, what's your favorite pop? What pop was from Janesville, right? I mean, there was some crazy shit, guys, from let's go, Elf. Guys, there was crazy shit, even in that. So let me just give you a quick rundown while we're on this tangent. So somebody mentioned Economowoc. So when I lived in Watertown, Economowoc was a little bit away from Watertown. Okay. And we had a bank in Economowoc that we would go to. Now, if you go down to Elkhorn, okay, Elkhorn was down, you had Elkhorn and you had East Troy and you had Delavan and you had Lake Geneva. Okay. And now Lake Geneva had a couple of things. First off, TSR, the game company that created Dungeons and Dragons, was in Lake Geneva. So I had access and knew about Dungeons and Dragons long before it spread like countrywide, right, nationwide, because it came from TSR, which was a Lake Geneva company. So we, even in the small town, we got Dungeons and Dragons before the rest of the country did, which I thought was pretty interesting because you literally get nothing before the rest of the country in small town Wisconsin, but we did get Dungeons and Dragons. And then, yes, they had the Playboy Club too, because Lake Geneva had a resort. It was very fancy on the lake. It was a very moneyed area, but they had a Playboy Club that my sister, one of my half sisters, worked at, where she wore the little bunny costume with the little puffy fucking bunny tail and shit. And so we used to go to the Playboy Club quite often as well. Right? Gary Gygax, let's go. A lot of people from Illinois would go to Lake Geneva. Yeah, no, Lake Geneva was a big tourist spot, guys. It was. Lake Geneva was a huge tourist spot. It was big. And of course, East Troy was also Alpine Village, the skiing in East Troy. And then they also had concerts. Stevie Ray Vaughan died tragically right there. Right. And so, yeah, there were some things that were like, there were a couple of positives there. Did I miss yours? Who's? Oh, I did. OC to the Central Valley was crazy. Ocean to cows. Let's go. Dude, thank you, Stephanie. Oceans to cows. Yeah, that's a crazy. I lived in Orange County too, right? So all the places I lived, guys, right? So I lived in Watertown. I lived in Elkhorn, right? Then I lived in North Hollywood. I lived in Glendale. I lived in Mission Hills. I lived in Yorba Linda. I guess, I went to middle school in Yorba Linda. I guess technically I lived in Placentia, but we were like right by the Yorba Linda border. So I lived in Orange County for a little while. And then we also lived in, I think that's it before I went to high school, right? But yeah, I did not like Orange County. I hated Orange County. But I have definitely lived in a lot of variety spaces. And I think that was helpful too to developing my politics. Because going from like a small working class town in Wisconsin to like living in Orange County and going to middle school in Yorba Linda where everyone was rich as fuck. It was like, whoa, dude, everybody was so rich. And I have not been abroad. I've only been to Canada and Mexico, right? I have not been to Europe yet. I'll get there one day, hopefully. But I've seen, and though, in addition to living in spaces, when I was in my 30s, I toured the US, and then I got to see like all of the country, right? And so I fucking, as an adult, I was lucky to tour the country and to, play shows and hang out with people in like every major city in America. So I've been pretty lucky as far as the traveling goes, right? Pretty lucky. I think it helps inform your politics and your sensibilities. Angie Nixon W for DSA in Florida. Let's go, Joel Shee. Let's go. Dude, let's go. Dude, Elf is going fucking crazy, bro. Crazy with the cheese whiz. Thank you, Elf. Thank you for playing quarterback. Oh, shit, dude. I missed an Elf one, though. I did. We got to go back. I missed an Elf one, too. It's right there. It says, politically speaking, I was so excited when Adam Kinzinger resigned and Underwood took over my district, and I hope that the liberal leadership moves outward. Let's go, Alf. Thank you, boss. I'm fucking sorry I missed that one. Dude, let's fucking go, boss. Appreciate it. Appreciate you, dude. Dude, he's going fucking crazy, bro. Yeah. America's under repairs. It is. Yeah, should we give him? Let's give him one. Sakatada. Let's go, dude. Sakatada, baby. Lawful evil. Yeah, see, I think the Trump admin is chaotic evil, right? If we were doing D&D, the fucking Trump admin, they are definitely chaotic evil by a long shot. They are, dude. They are 100% chaotic evil. Right? They are. Truth or Consequences is a town I want to live in. Let's go, Laura! I've heard of that. Chaotic, idiotic. Dude. Dude, we may have to, we may need an asteroid to clean up this mess. I shit you not. Okay? I mean, I don't want it to come to that, but we may very well need an asteroid. Damn straight? All right, Angie, let's go. We may very well need an asteroid, guys, to fix this mess. Just saying. You know? All right, it's time to get to the main event, guys. We've had some wonderful journeys today, but, bro, we got to get to the Trump. Told me about Katie Johnson. Dude, I've made videos about Katie Johnson, Groove Dragon. You forget, boss. I've got actual videos about Katie Johnson, multiple of them. Okay? Multiple Katie Johnson videos. Now, there is some shit coming out today, guys, which is this letter. Okay? There's two things that I want to look at here. Right? Is we've got this letter and I want to look at this. I guess there's three things because I want to look at this as well. All right? There's three things here that are creeping up. But I know. Where is it, Groove? You were talking about Katie Johnson a lot. There are fucking three things about the Epstein files that are creeping up. The first one here was from this post by Zara Quinn. All right. And this is about the handwritten note. Okay. And that's the handwritten note that we're going to see here that we're going to look at. That is very weirdly specific and very bizarre. Now, let's dig into this because I'm not exactly sure how this just came to light right now. Yeah, no, I know. All right, so let me see here. See, this is what I am trying to sort of figuring out, right? Is how this handwritten the handwritten notes are just now bubbling up to the surface. All right, let's watch this.
And some of this is handwritten notes.
All right, here we go.
And some of this is handwritten notes from the FBI agents interviewing victims and also potentially even perpetrators, right?
Well, the FBI handwritten notes implicate Donald Trump. and I don't think it's a secret why they're doing this dance at the DOJ to not release them. They are handwritten notes by 4 different meetings with a victim who alleges when she was 13 she was sexually abused by Donald Trump. That's the allegation. Now, the actual 302s, the official FBI reports, they've been turned over. After much hullabaloo and pushing by media, they were turned over. Why aren't you turning over these handwritten notes? Well, today, the prosecution said, well, you know what? They're duplicative. That's the first time they've ever said it. Before, they said it was substantially similar to the 302s. So what did the judge do today? He said that the handwritten notes must be turned over in camera, unredacted, so that he can check them out, because they continue to refuse to give them to the court.
And of course, President Trump denies any wrongdoing having to do with the Epstein files.
As he does.
Yes, as he does.
All right, so that's what's crazy, guys, is that this is part of the ongoing lawsuit about their redactions and about the shit that they're hiding, okay? Now, what's at stake here is there have been individuals, young individuals, who have claimed that Donald Trump essayed them when they were teenagers. And then the FBI went and interviewed those individuals and took handwritten notes about the individual's testimony. And this shit has been hidden. Okay, they released the typed up field reports that let people know that the FBI went and visited them and that have some sort of summary. But there are pages of handwritten notes. Now, why is this important, guys? Well, for a number of reasons, because there's a very good chance that there's a bunch of stuff in the actual handwritten notes that didn't make it into the concise FBI 302 summaries that they fucking released, okay? Which is devastating if the notes are filled with details and we find out that these FBI people like left shit out when they were putting together the 302s. That's part one, okay? It is Katie Fang's lawsuit, yes. And I mean, there are so many lawsuits right now. There's going to be many more revelations, guys, because there are a lot of different lawsuits coming from a lot of different people, okay, that are engaging with this, all right? And Katie's is, I feel like each one is going to be another, like, domino in the thing, right? I mean, you have, state level lawsuits like New Mexico that are suing about their, the DOJ shutting down their investigation into Zorro Ranch, right? You have Katie Fang going after these specific redactions. But I mean, I think there's probably about 100 lawsuits right now. And some of them are probably small, no-name ones that we don't even know about. We won't even hear about until they fucking make headway. And I will say this though, guys, you ready? This is sort of the beautiful thing about the way this Epstein case has unfolded, is going all the way to the beginning to Virginia Giuffre's defamation suit against Ghislaine Maxwell, which was the first lawsuit that kicked it off. What's wild is almost everything we know about these cases and almost every huge big breakthrough that has happened leading up to Epstein's arrest and beyond came from lawsuits. Starting with Virginia Giuffre suing Ghislaine Maxwell for defamation, putting a whole bunch of depositions on the record, unearthing a bunch of files, then a whole bunch of victims who got fucked over by the non-prosecution agreement. They sued on behalf of that the Victims' Rights Act was broken. And so they sued the Epstein being given immunity as violating their civil rights under the Victims' Rights Act. And that was a huge watershed lawsuit that they won, that unearthed all of this stuff. I mean, so I would imagine Katie Fang's lawsuit, when it finally is done, is going to be another huge domino. And especially what I'm curious about is because right now what's happening is the unredacted stuff is only, you know, appearing in front of the judge for the time being. So I'm really hoping some of that, like, I'm hoping that Katie Fang and 𝗏𝗡 get their hands on some of that unredacted material, right? That would be nice. But the fact that they're having to contend with it, right? Oh, so you're talking about the soda pop. Got you. I thought you were talking about pop music. Dude, Elf said, I'm going to send you a DM about the pop from Janesville, and the best cream soda and root beer will make you feel like you're in the Midwest. You're talking about soda, right? I thought you were talking about pop music, Elf. Let's go, dude. Elf. Going fucking crazy, bro. Oops. Wrong button. There it is. Tingle bitties. Dude, let's go. Now, hold on. This is for you too, Elf.
Hey!
Let's go. Dude, details around Virginia Giuffre's death are suspicious. I don't think they are, Triple. Right? I don't. I honestly don't. I don't think Virginia Giuffre was murdered. And after I read her book too, that came out after she died, after I read the book, I especially didn't think she was murdered. I mean, I thought maybe when I first heard about it, but she committed suicide. But dude, she was so fucking, I don't know. She had a long-standing depression. Right? A long-standing depression. And it really becomes evident when you read her book that she grappled, because she just continued, you know, the guy she married was still a little bit of an abuser. And, you know, she had a rough go, dude. I don't think she ever was able to get beyond the Epstein case. Unfortunately, she let me just say, guys, one of the things that Virginia Giuffre fell into, and this is pretty common with people with a lot of trauma. Okay. She had a lot of trauma, a lot. I mean, she was abused long before she met Epstein. So she knew a long life of a lot of abuse. And she did go to a little bit of therapy, but mostly she became like a central figure. She became the battering ram of this whole case, which takes a toll on somebody who is carrying a lot of trauma. Unfortunately, becoming a central figure and becoming this very famous person in the middle of all this does not heal those wounds. You know what I'm saying? And so she had a lot of unhealed trauma. And then you know what happened to her later in life, guys? And she talks about this in her book, but she had a lot of struggles with painkillers. Okay? She had a lot of struggles with going in and out of drug addiction with painkillers. And then what happens when people get painkiller addictions? They start getting hurt a lot, okay? And then it's just this weird cycle that happens. And then, you know, if they have a lot of physical trauma in their body, it starts presenting as injuries. And they get into this cycle of oh, I'm hurt again. I need to get some more painkillers. And then they grapple with these addictive forces. And I mean, dude, she grappled with that shit for many years. While also doing, you know, being at the forefront of this, you know, legal machine. Dude. So yeah, it was one of those things where after I read the book, I was like, ooh, I could see it. The book, you can, in her book, you can sort of feel her depression. You know, you can feel it. It's like palpable that she was struggling because she spent so much time like leading the charge to fight Epstein. And eventually, like, he got away, really. I mean, I know he died, but to all the survivors, him dying was like he got away scot-free. And in the end, dude, she was just a wreck, a physical wreck, an emotional wreck. She had sacrificed all this time away from her family, you know, and from, you know, a normal life, thrust into the spotlight and filled with all that like chaos. And it just didn't solve any of the wounds, you know? And I think that's really hard. If you look at a lot of the survivors, there are a number of the survivors who have grappled with either, you know, suicide attempts or like ideation and shit, is because they didn't get the results they wanted, and they also like none of their fighting like healed their wounds, right? And that's what's really hard. In fact, it often exacerbated them, right? It would make them worse. They'd be living in that trauma like over and over and over and over and over again, right? And it's too bad. But I know a lot of people like think she was murdered, and I get that, like, you know, that tendency. And I thought that for a while. She said her piece and was ready. Stephanie, let's go. Thank you. I thought that for a while until I read her book. It was her book that was like where I realized, oh, fuck, dude. She was like struggling. She was struggling like for years. And you know, I kind of feel like she, you know, gutted a lot of her own life trying to be the hero and trying to, you know. Yeah, but you know, 2019 though was very different than, you know, right? Like, you know, that was years before she passed. You know. Still, just read her book, you know, read her book. And you know, I highly suggest you read the book right here. This is good. It's a good book, right? It's kind of hard to see the cover, but you'll see it. It's dripping. I don't know. I've struggled with a lot of drug addiction, and you know, I was sexually abused, and I read that book and I was like, ooh, you know, I could feel it. I could feel her, like her, I don't know, a sense of hopelessness that she grappled with because she fought and fought and fought, and she literally was the one who did everything. And it just didn't heal any of her fucking, you know, it didn't heal any of her wounds. And she was even starting to realize that while she was writing the book, that like, you know, she took on the world and it didn't fix anything. And I don't know, I could see a real brooding hopelessness like taking hold in the book. But man, when this case finally does crack open, it's going to be because of her. It's just hard. Sometimes people don't make it through though, you know? Through Scorpion Kingdom, let's go! Sad story. But all right. So obviously this right here is big, but guys, this other thing came through a couple of days ago. All right. And this is this handwritten note here, right here, guys. Okay. This is very strange. It's a handwritten note from 2025, 2024. It's like, it's very weird. It's like a multi-page. Look at this shit. Now, this is unrelated to that FBI thing, but look at this note, guys. This is like, right? Look at this. This is insane. Okay? Dude, mailed to the fucking U.S. attorney, right, in New York, right, in June of 2025. It is an insane Phyllis Morris Shaw, right? Then there's like a number of people. There's a whole bunch of handwritten letters that got mailed here. All right. This is a thing that was unearthed during the Epstein files. But what's interesting about this is right here that the first part of this is what's interesting. Look at how specific this is. Okay. Starts off here and it says Jeffrey Epstein. It says, my testimony places Donald J. Trump as a person involved in the sale of young women to the sex trafficking ring of Jeffrey Epstein and Saudis. Your father knows me and knows, right? My brother Raymond Morris. Okay, this is a crazy, sprawling letter. Well, look at this. Look at what it says here. It's like this weird handwritten letter that says Donald Trump can stand in the driveway and have a clear view of me naked and on my knees on the mattress. Donald Trump says, you said she is pregnant. She doesn't look pregnant. George says she is. My dad took her to Army doctor and he estimates she is 2.5 months pregnant. Trump asks, is she on drugs? George said yes. Trump said, we don't like for them to be pregnant because we love money. A doctor could have, dude, it's so hard to read. Could have something her to miscarry. If the child is good looking, you could sell the baby, right? You said she is religious. The Saudis, like the religious ones, will figure it out. You will, right? Dude, this is like a crazy, like handwritten letter that is part of this giant series of handwritten letter that is new testimony that is popping up about Jeffrey Epstein. Now, I have not read through all of these letters, okay? I just read the little fucking clip here in the beginning one that was included, the screenshot that was including in this. But what's wild about this is how this is obviously written by somebody very young, okay? And, oh, because we lose money. Thank you. Thank you, Natalie. That's what it is. All right. Yeah. Right? We don't like for them to be pregnant because we lose money. Right? If they're pregnant, if they get pregnant, they lose money. They can't be like trafficking them when they're pregnant. But it's like a very broken, meandering sort of letter. But again, it is very, very, very specific. Okay. You know what I'm saying? It is very specific, guys. Right? My dad took her to Army doctor, 2.5 months. Is she on drugs? And a doctor could cause her to miscarry. The child is good looking like her. We could sell the baby. The Saudis like the religious ones. Now, this is fucked up, guys. Okay? Again, I do plan on looking through the other list. Now, the Saudis and Trump, I mean, if we go back, guys, if you look at Trump and the Saudis, there's just a lot of weird shit with Trump and the Saudis. Remember this, dude? He's out there with the hands on the globe. I mean, $2 billion from the Saudis to Jared Kushner. He let them murder that journalist, right? Khashoggi from the Washington Post. I mean, he's been in bed with the Saudis for a while. So has Elon Musk, sorry. Freudian slip. So has Elon Musk, Peter Thiel. I mean, the Saudi regime is like super dirty, right? His handwriting, you're saying it looks like an old person. It could very well be an old person, right? But I don't know, dude. It's like the writing feels like a young person, right? Let me see if I can get some information about this. See here, what was it? It was all right, so now there is okay. So this is from, so there is, I guess, hold on, let's find here. There is something in here that is supposedly a letter from Larry Nassar to Jeffrey Epstein that the DOJ said was fake and was sent after he passed. The Guardian did an article about this, right? Guardian did an article about the Larry Nassar letter. But here's the problem, though, guys. I don't think this is part of that letter, though. Hold on. Because there's no, I don't see a signature here from Larry Nassar. This looks like multiple letters, right? There was a letter from Larry Nassar to Jeffrey Epstein, from Jeffrey Epstein to Larry Nassar. There was a handwritten letter that was deemed a fake, okay? And it was mailed after Epstein was dead, okay? There was some letter that was going around, but the thing about this, though, is like, this is not, I don't see a signature here from Larry Nassar, right? That is not Larry Nassar. This looks like several different highlightings, right, at several different handwritings, and some of them, right, 𝗙cie, there's a 𝗙cie 𝗙𝗏𝗧. Okay. So here. Now I'm getting some information on this. All right. This is AI, though. So the handwritten letter, it was written and signed by a woman named Phyllis Morris Shaw. 32 pages, right? It is an old person's writing. 32 pages. It's weird, though, because the writing changes, but it's possible if it was written over a course of many different days, that would make sense. I mean, you can see the eyes remain consistent through here, right? There are a lot of consistencies. So it looks like this woman scrawled this thing over many days. And, right? And it says here that it was a 32-page longhand cursive letter submitted to the SDNY attorneys, signed by Phyllis Morris Shaw. Okay? It's a public submission. It is not an official FBI interview or sworn affidavit. Okay? The letter describes her recovered memories of traumatic events in Seaside Heights, New Jersey. So this is a woman who is now older that is recounting her previous experiences. Like, she went to therapy and went through and did some therapy to dig into some of her previous traumas. And then she started writing this stuff down. Okay. And she talks about Donald Trump inspecting her for market value and like suggesting she be offed, right? She discussed trafficking with Epstein and the Saudi buyers. Okay. And then she also levels some criminal accusations against her older brother. All right. And then the document is retaining government files. Okay. But independent researchers say there are some chronological flaws. The letter says the time of these events was in the summer of 1967. And obviously Epstein was only 14, right? And so I mean, let's see if we can find where she mentions the 1967. Okay, right here. So it says right here, this is my testimony of the summer of 1967. My last year of high school, I just completely recovered this memory. And she goes into a story in Jersey that is set in 1967 and about being sold to Jeffrey Epstein. So there is obviously that 1967 timeline is a little problematic. But so, I mean, did she mean right? You know what I'm saying? Did she mean fucking, did she mean 87? Was that a mistake? Because obviously this is where some of this shit gets crazy. Okay, because she said here too, I got pregnant, right? She goes into the 2.5 months pregnant, the first part of June 1967, right? So obviously, right, I had a younger brother named Donald. Dude, so I don't know. I mean, it is really, right? It is, she was 75, okay? Which would mean for her, right? She's 75 and she mailed this to the attorney in 2025, which would place her date of birth in the 50s, right around 1950. And then, you know, she would be 18 or around 18. She would be in high school in 1967. Okay? Right? Dude, she was born in Dothan. No way, dude. Dothan, Alabama. I played a show in Dothan, guys. Dude, Dothan, Alabama is in the very southeast corner of Alabama down by Georgia. Okay? That's so crazy. Dude, it is like way down. Here's Alabama, right? And here's where Georgia is and the Florida Panhandle. Dothan is all the way down in that corner. Dude, all the way down in the bottom corner. I played a show there. I used to play at a coffee shop in Dothan. It was crazy. That's wild that she was born in Dothan. Get out, boss. All right. It's tiny. Small town, dude. Oh, 70,000? Oh, I didn't think it was even that big. Dude, it felt pretty small. That's a lot big. I thought it was like 30,000. But, so, like, that's what's hard about this, guys, is, you know, I mean, now, let me just tell you, though, guys, okay? If she could very well have been, you know, fudging her timeline, and this thing could have happened later, and she's confusing it with her high school years, I suppose. I mean, she is 75, you know, when she's writing this out. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to make of these. There are a lot of people a lot of crazy people that come into this. But, you know, I mean, even up here, she's like writing the wrong dates on her letter. She has like June 14th, but it looks like she did a different date. Looks like she said 2024, then she changed it to 2025. So, I mean, I don't know. I think, though, it's interesting that when we look at the summary of this, that the big chronological flaw, the only flaw that really gets mentioned is about the timeline. Right? This is the thing. It's his involvement in a plot in 1967, but Epstein was only 14. 32-page handwritten note was dated in June of 2025. Right? And this, you know, says Trump is a person involved. But that date of summer of 67, right? Which is not possible. Okay? That date is absolutely not possible. Now, this is interesting, though, right? Is that in the summer of 67, he did attend an arts camp in Michigan. That's pretty wild. Dude, Elf, let's go. I don't know about anyone specifically, but I know specifically where I was at most moments directly. Eidetic memory. Let's go. Dude, see, here's the thing, though, guys. Thank you, Elf. Fucking crazy, bro. Now, here's the thing. I have definitely experienced like memory scenarios, okay? Which meaning like there are certain things that I remember, like, you know, the Buggles video on MTV when it first started that I thought happened in Wisconsin. And when I go back and look at the date, it was like, oh, that happened when I lived in Orange County. And there are like years that sort of merge and coalesce and memories fuse together as you get older. And so sometimes you think single memories are, well, actually, when you really dig into it, you realize, oh shit, I'm remembering two different events as one. But like, guys, I don't know, man. Like, thinking this happened when you were a senior in high school in 1967, and then, you know, the chances of that really happening 10 years later or 20 years later, that seems like a stretch. Okay, doesn't it? That seems to me like a pretty big stretch. So I don't know about the veracity of this, but what I thought was really intriguing about it was the details were so specific. And again, she's 75. We don't know how cooked this woman's brain is when she sat down to write this 32-page rambling thing. So I don't know. My brain is already getting a little fudgy, and I'm, 56. Right? Now, here's the problem I have is this letter got mailed to the SDNY attorneys in June of 2025. That's 1 year ago, guys. Now, did SDNY send an attorney and an investigator to interview this woman? Like, did this woman get interviewed? I mean, we've seen a lot of crazy, like, FBI 302s related to the baby getting tossed off a boat in Lake Michigan, this, that, and the other. But one of the things that's really interesting is were these followed up? Did the SDNY send an investigator and attorney to go depose this woman and follow up on this? And if not, why not? Right? And yeah, the Johnson complaint was also very detailed. There was a lot of shit around Katie Johnson, right? Anyone notice Mandela effect is running amok? Let's go triple. I mean, the Katie Johnson one had some very specific details about Katie and about a girl named Maria. Very, very specific. And then that got filed in California, in Indio, from a fake address. It was filed by this former Jerry Springer producer. And then that kind of blew up in Katie Johnson's face. Then she did that interview with a blurred out face in a motel. And then she did hire Lisa Bloom, a very well-known New York attorney. They had that big press conference scheduled. The press all met there, and at the last minute, Katie Johnson backed out. She didn't do the presser, and she just rescinded everything and pulled the lawsuit. So I don't know. It's a little hard to take. Now, could a 75-year-old woman who is severely traumatized be a little touched in the head at 75 and go write a 32-page like rambling letter and get a bunch of timeline stuff wrong? Absolutely. But more to me would be, after she wrote a 32-page letter, what happened with the investigation? Okay, because June 14th, this arrived in SDNY right around the time that Pam Bondi was like, supposedly going to unearth this. And next thing you know, they issued that letter saying the case was closed and so on and so forth. So it is a lot to take in. Guys, for me, I don't know if this is right or wrong, but I start with skepticism. Okay, I do. I start with skepticism and then I move my way into, evolving exploration. Okay, I do. And the reason why I do that is because I feel like starting with skepticism makes me a better researcher. Okay? Because if I start with just this has got to be true, then I will start trying to create a narrative to prove my shit. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to completely discount it, because I looked at this today, and just from reading some of the initial details in here and the writing and I don't know, there's something about it that felt, I don't know, that felt like it had a little bit of that EMDR sort of stream of consciousness shit that I experienced when I was, you know, recovering from my own sexual abuse. So I don't know, you know. Right? And then, right, she alleges that Trump came to the property where she was held, right, discussed her pregnancy. And again, she's like alluding to this being 1967, right? On page 6, the deal fell apart. Trump told the men holding her that he didn't care what happened to her. And then he made an allegation of saying, like, you know, feed her to the fishes, which was, you know, and then she says she was locked in a bedroom without food, water, or access to a bathroom. Okay. And now she's right. She's saying she just remembered this. Right. So presumably she did some therapy, and 60 years later, this, or whatever, maybe she didn't do therapy. 60 years later, this thing comes back. Okay. But I guess what is problematic about this is that date. Now, here's interesting, though. You ready? There is a part of her story that checks out. Okay. She identifies George McDevitt's father as a police chief of Seaside Heights, New Jersey. And that detail checks out. Okay. That the Seaside Heights Police Department, Joe McDevitt was the police chief. So she is remembering something about that time, about 1967. That's like spot on. That she remembers who the police chief was in Seaside Heights, New Jersey. But then she's also thinking that she was being trafficked by Epstein and Donald Trump in that same year, when those guys were obviously, they didn't know each other, and that wasn't happening. So that is a little, I don't know, that is a little unusual, right? Right? So that is, and then she said she was in New Jersey in June of 67. She talks about a dramatic storm, the hurricane, but the hurricane was in September of 67. And then, right? And then she talks about the Qatari aircraft. About, this is weird, where she writes about the, you know, Trump's jet plane, the Qatari aircraft, and that broke right before she wrote this. So the Saudi connection, something about the Qatari aircraft made her think of the Saudis and helped her remember this thing. And then she sent it to an SDNY attorney. Now, dude, always going to be concerned for the victims. You should. You should. So I don't know, guys. I don't know where I stand with this. You know, the skeptic in me always, like, the skeptic in me definitely takes hold here. I don't know. I will say this, though. I would like to know what the DOJ did with this, what SD&I did with this, if they followed up, did they go talk to her, who interviewed her, what happened with that interview, and what's more, like, I mean, obviously we need the rest of these files just to even begin to catch up. Now, there was something else that happened today, guys. That is this that I want to look at real quick. This is another Epstein-related thing, guys, that is pretty crazy. Look at this. New FBI Epstein emails show Sarah Ferguson, okay, the Duchess of York, contacted 𝗙cie Patel. Whoa. This is crazy. Now, this is obviously connected to the royal family, to Andrew. She was contacting the head of the FBI. Internal documents shed new light on the government's review of the Epstein files and reveal efforts by former Duchess of York to connect a British socialite with the FBI director. Okay? Dude, this is wild. Okay? Now, there's over the past several months, the FBI has quietly posted documents to his Freedom of Information Act reading room known as the Vault. The records, which include email spreadsheets and training slides, provide a window into the internal deliberations as they discuss how they were going to review, redact, and release the files. The FBI documents were made public in response to Freedom of Information Act requests, right? FOIA lawsuits filed by various watchdog organizations and include a set that were first released to this reporter last year after they sued the Bureau to obtain them. Okay? They got 715 pages of records and found a bunch of unreported details that raise more questions, all right? And here's one of the big ones. By now, the relationship between Epstein and former royals Prince Andrew and Duchess of York Sarah Ferguson is well documented. Emails from the files released by DOJ showed that Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, as he is now known, maintained a close friendship with Epstein well after Andrew had publicly distanced himself. Now, we know this. We've got the pictures from, Central Park. And then, of course, those photos from Jeffrey's mansion came out. Like, just crazy. Like, we discovered that, Andrew and him were like, never let go of their deep, deep connection long after he was lying about it. But here's the big one. The emails also show that Ferguson remained in contact with Epstein after his 2008 guilty plea. Okay? Right? Asking him for financial advice and help to pay off her debts. The new emails, right, present a little intrigue. In March 2025, a year before the details of her communications with Epstein became public, Ferguson contacted a senior diplomat, the U.S. Embassy in London. Okay, she was reaching out to share the contact information of a British socialite with incoming FBI Director 𝗙cie Patel. The Duchess of York, Sarah Ferguson, reached out and wanted to provide contact information for Victoria Harvey. The Duchess was under the impression you requested the contact info, wrote David Walker, the FBI's legal attaché, in a March 6, 2025 email to Patel. Victoria Harvey can be reached at blank. In the event none of this makes sense and this was not a contact you were looking to obtain, please feel free to ignore this email. So she is reaching out. Ferguson, right? The Duchess of York, Ferguson, reaches out to the embassy to reach out to the FBI to say, hey, I want to pass along contact information about this lady, Victoria Harvey. Okay. And I guess they misspelled the name in the email. It is unclear what Lady Victoria Hervey might have wanted to contact Patel about. She is a British socialite who makes an appearance in the Epstein files. All right, let's see her. There she is. Victoria Hervey. Dude, she's got the fucking, the Nikki Haley. Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing? She is fucking, you know, some type of royalty. She was in the modeling industry, did Dior. Oh, she appeared, look at this. In 99, she appeared together with Melania Trump in a photo shoot for Town and Country. Yikes. So she was connected to Melania and connected to Andrew, definitely connected to Epstein as well. This is pretty crazy. She moved to LA in 2004, and she had relationships with Prince Andrew briefly in 99. So she was had a relationship with Andrew right before, right? She had a relationship with Andrew right before he was hooking up with Virginia Giuffre. Fergie, does she still live with Andrew? I didn't know that. In January 2022, she said in an interview she felt Ghislaine Maxwell used her as bait to attract women to Epstein's parties. And she suggested the photo of Virginia Giuffre was fake, which it was not, right? She called Giuffre a complete whore. Jesus, right? Jesus, dude. This woman is a fucking a piece, dude. What the fuck? What the fuck, bro? All right. So, again, though, right? We don't know. We don't know why Fergie was trying to give her information to 𝗙cie Patel. Right? Like, what the fuck is going on with this shit? And why is there no transparency? Right? Why is there no transparency, like, around any of this? All right, so let's see what we got here. Now, Patel replied saying, thanks for the relay. Remind me who Victoria Hervey is. And then my understanding is you met with Antonia Marshall and Victoria Hervey at the Trump International Golf Course and asked for their contact information. And Marshall is an assistant to Fergie. All right. In January 2025, Hervey posted photos on Instagram of herself with Patel and Trump at Trump's golf club. Oh, there she is. Jesus, dude, look at her. Why did they all look like fucking lizard people, boss? Right? Oh my God, dude. Dude, what is up? Right? Like, what is up with all of these fucking people? Trump was right about everything. And like, she is looking gnarly, guys. Right? Like, look at that. They all have that, like, that fucking lizard neck. And the strained faces. Dude, look at they're all so creepy. What is that? Is that a purse? She has a bag, a Donald Trump bag. Jesus, dude, she's making the rounds. They're eating some fries. All right. and some fucking sliders. What the fuck? How many Muppets had to die for that outfit? Jesus, that's a pretty color, actually. I do like the color of the hat. Dude, it's a good color. Terrible hat, but good color. She's making the rounds. There she is. That is, oh, I thought that was Anna Paulina Luna. It's not, though. Dude, these people are so weird, guys. They're so fucking weird, bro. The lead up to the inauguration was a whirlwind. What this man has accomplished in a week is far greater than anything Biden did in 4 years. These people are mental. All right. Back to the article. So then she posted photos on Instagram of herself. Walker noted in his email to Patel that Ferguson had reached out to the U.S. Embassy, and Patel said, appreciate the details, right? The FBI documents contain no additional details about Hervey or Ferguson's outreach or whether Patel followed up. And an FBI spokesperson said, Patel does not know who this Victoria Hervey person is, as you can see from the email's reference, and that he has taken photos with thousands of people. All right. And then Ferguson, Fergie, Hervey, Marshall, and of course, Prince Andrew did not respond to requests for comment. Now, in addition to this, though, guys, ready? In addition to the discussions about Fergie and Hervey, the documents show other noteworthy details, including a spreadsheet dated March 25th, 2025, titled DOJ Document Flag List. The first page labeled flagged items list, right? The first page labeled flagged items list per case per DOJ guidance includes a case number associated with the FBI's investigation of Epstein back from 2006. They absolutely know who she is. I mean, he got emails about her and coming from Fergie. Like, give me a fucking break. I mean, how often does Fergie try to reach out to Kash Patel? He knows who she's talking about. Right? But so this is crazy. Okay? The inventory shows various documents from the Miami field office files on Epstein, including several entries that were flagged last year because the files contain classified information and foreign government information. Records that revealed the identities of victims and potential public figures were also flagged. There's 16 entries on the list where the reason for the flag was simply marked POTUS. Those items include magazine and newspaper articles, message pads, phone message books, and one unidentified record. So there are emails, okay? And right, there are emails and a spreadsheet. There was a spreadsheet that was going through and flagging items related to certain people for redactions or otherwise, to these things to be hidden. And there were things, they mentioned classified information, foreign government information, so therefore they're hiding it. But then there were 16 of them that just said POTUS, right? And this part is crazy. The fact that some of them were message pads and phone message books that had something to do with Donald Trump that were then flagged and glossed over. While some of the Epstein records DOJ had singled out have since been released, the inventory offers the first look at what records were identified for additional scrutiny with at least a rough explanation why. DOJ referred a request for comment on the flag list to the FBI, which declined to comment. All right, following the botched rollout of Pam Bondi's phase 1, Patel ordered 1,000 agents to work on the transparency project. Those were the guys that were going through and redacting everything with Trump's name. But in July 2025, after months of intense effort, the Trump admin announced it wouldn't be releasing any records after all they did was find Trump. Like, they found so much Trump, I'm telling you guys, these are the fucking Trump files with occasional references to Epstein. I shit you not. In one email, okay, the documents highlight some tension over a joint statement about the decision that DOJ and FBI started to draft. In one email dated June 24, 2025, under the subject Epstein DOJ memo, then Deputy Director Dan Bongino wrote to Patel, received this morning. This is absolutely not an accurate representation of our transparency efforts on the Epstein case. Copy of the draft memo was not included in the documents. Patel responds, thanks, Dan, I agree. We will make factually accurate revisions and revert. But again, we don't know what Bongino was referring to. Then 2 days later, Patel sent a new version of the memo to Patel, which also wasn't included. Bongino liked it. As we discussed, these suggested edits to the document better reflect our aggressive transparency efforts in the case. Bongino wrote, email included a Microsoft Word document titled Statement by the DOJ regarding Jeffrey Epstein. So they were passing along, like, you know, memos on what their statement was looking like, but we don't see the memos. We don't see the changes. Emails also show then Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche and 𝗍𝗎𝗍𝗆, worked on a final version of the statement, which the DOJ released on July 6th. It said the FBI and DOJ determined no further disclosure of the files would be appropriate or warranted. The controversial decision paved the way for the passage of the EFTA, right? That, of course, was when they closed the case and said, we're not releasing anything. And then, of course, Trump went on to say, oh, this shit's a hoax. And here we are. But isn't that interesting, guys? That Fergie was trying to reach Patel. Patel's pretending like he didn't know her. We don't know what happened, if he reached that woman or what went on. We don't even know why Fergie was trying to give her information to Patel. And then we find out that these guys are flagging POTUS shit and hiding it and arguing about the transparency. And then ultimately, somewhere along the way, they just decide to shelve the whole thing. And everybody's in on it. Patel, Bongino, Todd Blanche, and 𝗍𝗎𝗍𝗆, who, of course, got a fucking cushy new job, too. You may remember him, right? Right? Because he got appointed to a fucking Third Circuit appeals. This fucking guy. Total fucking degenerate. Jesus. Dude. I will say it again. Every single person in Trump's orbit is Epstein connected. Like 90% of the people in his orbit, they're all Epstein business, Epstein cover-up, Epstein's lawyers, in the Epstein files, former models of Epstein, former business partners of Epstein, former, Southern Florida federal attorneys that gave Epstein immunity. You know what I mean? They were on the plane. They were traveling with him. It is insane, guys. Like every fucking person. Even if you look at his recent Jay Clayton, dude, right? Look at this guy. This person, Jay Clayton, I believe, was mentioned in that Phyllis Shaw handwritten letter. Okay, this is Jay Clayton, who is the fucking, right, the DNI, right, the director the fucking D&I director, right? He replaced 𝗙𝗪cy 𝗍𝗪. This guy just got confirmed. This motherfucker was a SDNY attorney. And then the minute this guy, he was an SDNY attorney, and after Trump's first term, Apollo Management made a position. They created a board position for Jay Clayton. Apollo Management Group, of course, is Leon Black's company. So Leon Black, the guy who gave Epstein $150 million, Leon Black's company gives Jay Clayton a fucking, right? Gives him a special hand-created board position after he served with Trump. And now this guy is the director of national intelligence, guys. Like, what the fuck, bro? Everyone in our government now is like Epstein connected. It's fucking bullshit, bro. Dude, heads gotta roll, boss. All right. And I gotta make videos. We went 30 minutes extra. Actually, I started late, so we only went like 15 minutes extra. But dude, it's crazy. The shit is nuts, bro. Imagine being rejected by Epstein. That's Elon's reputation. Guys, I have an Elon theory, and we'll talk about that. Maybe we'll talk about that tomorrow. Okay? But I mean, the Elon thing is interesting, right? It's interesting because there's more to that than I think people let on. All right, it is dance party time now. Dude, my body is roughed up, guys. Let's go. It is dance time. Oh. Oh. We finish it off with the dance party, baby. You had a good time? Good. Okay, let's go. 𝗙𝗪𝗓𝗧. Let's dance. We will dance. All right, you ready for this? Let's go. Oh, get shit on, Elon. All right. All right, let's go. Giddy up, baby. All right, here we go. Here we go. I'm getting into it. No time to waste, baby. We're getting right in. The little deja vu, baby. Let's go. Oops. Where are you at? There it is. There it is. Uh-oh. For some reason, Epidemic Sound is not loading, guys. This is weird. I've never seen this. Hold on. See if I can figure this out. It is like... It is down. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Dude, the artist, no, he is Swedish. He's from Sweden. Dude, it's crazy. Like, no, I'm serious. I'm like, I don't understand what's going on with the site. That is crazy to me that it's down. Hold on one sec. I'm actually having trouble like loading a lot of sites, right? Isn't he on Spotify? Yeah, probably. Hold on. Let me see what's going on here. Because dude, I'm having a weird thing. Let me see if I can load it on my other computer here. Nope. Dude, a lot of sites are not loading on my fucking internet, bro. Dude, it's so weird. Dude. Hold on. Yeah, dude, Twitter's not loading. But YouTube is loading. Dude, it's so crazy. Like, Twitter is not loading. And fucking, you know, Runway is loading. I wonder if there is like is there some shit going on with the internet? Right? Is there some shit going on with the internet where because like Instagram is loading, and now TikTok is loading. Huh. It wasn't. And now Epidemic Sound is loading. Dude, what the fuck was that, bro? That was so bizarre. All these websites were literally not loading, and now they literally just loaded. Yeah, I think there was there may have been like a fucking AWS server or something that went down. But we're back, guys. You ready? They can't fucking hold us down for long. Dude, we talk about Epstein. Do I use a VPN? I do not. We talk about Epstein, and then here we fucking go, baby. Dude, I got lumered? Dude, I did. They tried to loomer me, boss. Fuck that. All right, now we go. Let's go. We're back. Fuck you, loomer. Ah! Get fucking shit on. All right, here we go. Now we're into it. Let's go, baby. Come on. Come on.
But I've known, been here before. this feeling that I have now, almost a bit holy, a notion that I will make it out somehow.
Let's go! Dude, that was so weird, bro. We had a fucking glitch in the Matrix. All right, let's go, baby. Dude, thank you guys. I appreciate you. Thank you for another great night. Thank you for all the support. Thank you to Elf for being the big fucking quarterback tonight. We appreciate it. Stay real, guys. Take care of your heads. Take care of yourselves and each other. Dude, it's going to get crazy. Oh, man, as we get closer to the election, it is going to be bad shit. In the meantime, though, you know what to do, baby. Stay radiant. I'll see you tomorrow. Good night.
I just want to change the world. I just want the perfect girl. I don't want to hang around. I'd rather be found. It gets better. I wonder my pleasure together. Everyone's waiting, anticipating. Change the world, but I'm not gonna wait my turn. I don't ever want to come down. I'd rather be found. It gets better. I wonder my pleasure together. Everyone's waiting, anticipating. about you. I would never be